Yes, we're about to get started here with Wolves against Sheffield United coming up. Wolves unchanged from their game against Tottenham last weekend, the match that they won by 2-1. Jose Sá, the goalkeeper, three at the back: Max Kilman, Craig Dawson and Totti Gomez. Nelson Semedo and Ryan Aït-Nouri are the wing backs. Mario Lemina, João Gomez in the midfield, and then Pablo Sarabia and Pedro Neto, who was brilliant last week, in support of Hee Chang-Hwang up front, the Korean who was down receiving treatment in the warm-up, but he did finish the warm-up, and we've not been given any further indication that he might be out, but it's certainly one to monitor. As for the visitors, Sheffield United make 4 changes from their 5-0 defeat at home to Brighton last Sunday. Ivo Grbić is back in goal, the January signing, the Croatian international. Ahmed Hodzic, Robinson and Austin Trusty in the back three. Trusty into the team today. Larouci and Bogle, the wing backs. Oliver Norwood's back in, his 550th appearance of his club career. And then Gustavo Hamer, James McAtee, Vinny Souza behind Ryan Brewster, who comes in to lead the line for Sheffield United.
Clinton Morrison alongside Conor for commentary. Afternoon, Clinton.
Afternoon. It's noisy here. I can't even hear you properly, but I can freestyle it. Don't worry, mate.
Right, I'll try and be as loud as I can without upsetting everybody inside Wembley Stadium, including our colleagues from television.
Don't worry about Wembley, people at Wembley. Worry about me for now, Crossy.
You're right, you're number one. You're always
Exactly.
our number one, Clinton. I mean, listen, let's wait and see on Hwang, but that's the last thing Gary O'Neill needs, because so many times this season, you think about that forward three, he's been missing one or another. He just desperately needs to get them all together, even though they're doing so well without doing that.
Yeah, you're right. At the moment, they're missing Cunha, who's been outstanding for them. He could be out for the rest of the season. You don't want to lose Hwang. At times, they've not had Neto. As you said, they would love to have all three of them, but hopefully Hwang's all right. He did go down, but Connor's is right. I was watching him after, and he was doing the finishing. And they just announced on the tannoy that he would be starting, so hopefully he's all right.
There was a nice line from Gary O'Neill in his pre-match press conference. He says, I watch Manchester City always, and I watch Manchester City because they come up against teams who play in a low block, which is really interesting. He said you don't have to be Manchester City to watch them. What I'm wondering though, Clinton, is will Sheffield United come out this way? Because most teams play Manchester City and they're desperate for a point. Sheffield United need all three.
Yeah, they can't come back and sit back, but they can't open the game up after 5-10 minutes and be 2 or 3-0 down like we've seen with them many times. And their biggest thing is trying to keep 11 players on the pitch. Like obviously last week, Holgate going down kind of killed the game for them. But you're right, Crossy, they need points at the moment. So if I'm Sheffield United, I'm on the front foot going to attack Wolves.
Can you imagine we might see a more sort of traditional Chris Wilder team performance this afternoon? Because against Brighton, albeit with the Holgate red card which scuppered everything so early, still they set up to try and frustrate Brighton. Have they got to try and be themselves? Yeah,
they have to be themselves. Go on the front foot. Listen, they ain't got a lot of points on the board, and everyone's criticising Sheffield United. So Chris Wilder should do what his team's. I know it's different players from when he was in the Premier League before, but just go on the front foot. Go and give it a go, but don't leave yourself too open, because you can't keep getting beat 5 and 6, because that's nowhere near good enough. You got to play the game. But I hope there is loads of goals, because me and Conor are here, and we want to see loads of goals.
Premier League anthem just concluding in the background. Of course, we'll be listening later on today to the national anthem here at Wembley Stadium. When we do that, I'll be watching the players standing out in front of me ahead of the 2024 League Cup final between Chelsea and Liverpool. It is a 3 o'clock kickoff. There is more build-up on the way, but it starts for us this afternoon at Molineux for Wolves against Sheffield United. And Clinton Morrison is with Conor McNamara.
Molineux is absolutely bouncing here ahead of kickoff. Wolves, who've earned some very impressive results lately. They have only lost 2 of their last 11 games in all competitions, Wolves. But those 2 defeats have come in Gary O'Neill's last 2 home Premier League fixtures in a row. They lost to Manchester United here, they lost to Brentford. It is something that Wolves are very keen to put right today. Before those last 2 games here, Wolves had been unbeaten in 8 home league games in a row. There was a clinical dispatch nature of how they got the 2 goals against Tottenham to win in North London last weekend. And with Matheus Cunha the only injury absentee across the squad, Gary O'Neill will be hoping that Sheffield United, bottom of the Premier League, so often on the receiving ends of thumpings this season, can be dispatched here at Molineux. Darren Bond is the referee, assisted by Gary Bezic, and Adam Nunn. He's inside the centre circle with a cast of thousands, really. There's mascots in big outfits. There's tons and tons of kids who've been little mascots running off the pitch now under instruction to clear away. And now the two captains will come in to the centre circle. Max Kilman for Wolves and Anil Ahmedhodzic for Sheffield United, the Bosnian who's been the captain in every game since Chris Wilder's return to the club. Now, ahead of kick-off, we are going to have a moment's remembrance in memory of former Wolves goalkeeper Paul Bradshaw. He has died at the age of 67, a League Cup winner with Wolves in 1980. That's the club's most recent major trophy. Twice voted Wolves Player of the Year during his 7 seasons at the club. And Molineux now remembers Paul Bradshaw ahead of kick-off. Bradshaw, big goalkeeper, big personality, and very fondly remembered here at Molineux. This is 5 Live from the BBC, this 1:30 Premier League kickoff today. The only Premier League fixture in the schedule this Sunday. League Cup final to come from Wembley on this network later on this afternoon. For Sheffield United, who played with 10 men for 77 minutes last weekend. Mason Holgate was dismissed against Brighton. Another 5-0 defeat. 5th time this season that Wolves had lost by 5 goals or more in a Premier League game. It can't be fun being bottom of the table, but while there is a mathematical chance, while there is any hope at all, they have got to give it everything.
No, you're right, Conor. They got to play on the front foot. Too many times we've seen Sheffield United being negative, and as I said last week against Brighton, you go down to 10 men. It's always difficult against a good Brighton team. He's set up to go and attack. I know he's played the 5 at the back, but Chris Wilder always does that. He wants his win-backs, should be really important. So I'm hoping for goals anyway, Conor.
Wolves in their old gold shirts, black shorts, old gold socks. Sheffield United in the red and white stripes. Change of shorts for Sheffield United, who normally wear black, but that would be a clash with Wolves, so they've switched to red. At the moment, it's a very much flat back 5 for Chris Wilder's team as Wolves hold the early possession and roll it back to goalkeeper Jose Sa away to our left-hand side. Sheffield United, who beat Wolves 2-1 when these sides met at Bramall Lane in November. It was a very exciting game. Cameron Archer gave Sheffield United the lead. Bellegarde equalised for Wolves in the 89th minute, but the drama was only beginning because Sheffield United then won a penalty which Oliver Norwood scored in the 100th minute for Sheffield United to take all 3 points, and that will, I'm sure, be lingering in the back of the minds of the Wolves players who felt that maybe they were denied points that they should have had on that day in November. This is Totti Gomes coming forward, the Portuguese international for Wolves. Pedro Neto, who was electrifying to watch against Tottenham last weekend. He ran them ragged at times, and you know, it's great to see him getting a run of fitness, Clinton, and if he can keep it up, I mean, he's a Champions League quality player. Definitely, he can go to the top 4. I know Wolves fans won't like me saying that, but the big clubs will be knocking at the door. Here's a ball over the top, and Lamina's made a run. Out comes the goalkeeper, Gerbic, Ivo Gerbic, right on the edge of the penalty area when he fell on the ball, and Wolves were interested to see, did he handle it outside the box? The referee was quite a way behind that. However, his assistant Gary Bezic had a close view, and they're happy for play to continue.
Yeah, I thought he might have just come out, but we give him the benefit of the doubt.
It's
a close one, isn't it, Conor?
It's one of those, certainly a lot of the ball is over the line. Was all of the ball over all of the line, but it was too close for cover. That's not exactly a settling start for Igo Geric's first touch of the ball here at Molineux, the new Croatian goalkeeper who joined in January with Atletico Madrid, hadn't played regularly at all for them this season. Ball over the top for Sheffield United. Brewster will sprint down the other end, but it carries through to Jose Sa. So 0-0 between Wolves and Sheffield United in the early stages here. Dawson passes it short to Max Kilman. Kilman, the only Wolves player to feature in every minute of the Premier League this season. Nelson Semedo passes it into Sarabia. Back to Kilman once again, who always wears the white boots. And he spots there's a bit of room for Totti Gomez over on the left-hand side, and he chips it over to him. Ryan Ait-Nouri has taken up a position ahead of Pedro Neto. As we see with so many wing-backs these days, they like to push right up. Wolves have it on the right-hand side as they come forward, but Nelson Semedo's pass forward is well anticipated by Jack Robinson, and Robinson, who had won it back for Sheffield United, immediately gives it away.
And that's the problem, they're not going to have a lot of the ball, and when they do have the ball, Conor, they have to keep it. Can't be giving it back. It was a good interception from Robinson, and then he gives it away.
Lovely step over by Neto, drifts away from Ollie Norwood, then he takes on Vinny Sousa, nearly beats him too. Sousa with an outstretched leg just pokes the ball away from Pedro Neto, but you can tell already he's got a swagger about him. He wants to impress today. Sheffield United clear it away straight out of play, and a throw into Wolves on the far side, still 0-0.
Yeah, them two impress me, Wang and Neto. He hasn't had a touch yet, Wang, but and Cunha, if they get them three fit, they're three of the best that you could see in the Premier League at the moment. I think they're so exciting.
Yes, Wang, who, if you missed it earlier on, was down in the warm-up receiving treatment, but he seems to be okay. It was a wayward pass from João Gomez, who got his first 2 Premier League goals of the season against Tottenham last weekend. He's put it too far in front of Nelson Semedo, and that goes out of play.
You know what, Conor? Them two do well. Gomez and Lemina been really good signings. I watched a lot of them, and I know you probably... No, it was, yeah, when Wolves Tottenham, you was at that game, wasn't you? Them two have been outstanding, in particular Gomez as well.
Yes, João Gomez, who turned 23 last week. Tackling stats are excellent. Only Fulham's João Palhinha and Sheffield United Sosa have made more tackles in the Premier League this season than João Gomez. Here he is, tussling for it with Vinicius Sousa. It's going to be a good battle between those two today as Lemina gives it to Neto on the left-hand side, steps into the penalty area, low cross, Sarabia sliding in. The angle was too tight, the stretch was too far. He's lucky not to have hurt himself actually stretching for that, Sarabia, as the ball ends up in amongst the Wolves spectators, and that's a goal kick to Sheffield United, and one of the classic comedy moments in football where the Wolves fan has thrown the ball back onto the pitch. Krbic wasn't looking, and it hits the goalkeeper on the head, and of course it doesn't hurt him, but it'll bruise his ego as he's got to get out of the penalty area and pick the ball up, and the pantomime cheers of the Wolves fans behind the goal.
I wouldn't like that. You can lose your head, can't you, Conor? But he handled it the right way there.
Particularly goalkeepers who are supposed to react when the ball comes at them.
Exactly. He didn't react quick enough.
He wasn't expecting it to come. Ivo Krbic, who's huge, 6'5", 6'6". As Ahmed Hodzic here has been put under pressure by Hwang. Great sprint for the Korean. Now that is exactly what Molineux wants to see. He's run 35 yards across the penalty area, hounding Ahmed Hodzic into the right back position, and then he slides in to block the attempted clearance, and Sheffield United find themselves penned in right from the early stages here. 5 minutes played at Molineux, 0-0.
He's fit, Conor. He's fit. You don't run like that and be able to stretch like that and close down if you had a slight niggle. So in his head, he is fit.
Hee-Chan Hwang, who last weekend against Tottenham was his first appearance for Wolves since December. He had been away at the Asian Cup with South Korea. It was the Sun against Hwang game last weekend. I've never seen so many Koreans. When you go to any Tottenham game, there's a huge Korean support. Of course there is for Sun, but so many who've been there with the Hwang connection as well. As Norwood tries to ping a crossfield ball right to left. Arusi's going to sprint, but he won't get there, and it goes out of play again. And Sheffield United have been plagued with a lot of misplaced passes, even in these early stages at Molineux so far. Sarabia has the ball midway inside his own half, gives it crossfield over to Neto, who first time chests it into the path of Ait-Nouri. That's really slick. Ait-Nouri gives it back to Pedro Neto, who had, I think, stood on the foot of Jadon Bogle as they were running there, and he's come across it, he shook his head and he says, I'm sorry, that was an accident. A nice little moment as the game carries on between the two of them. Kilman on the halfway line gives it back to Totti Gomez, who made his international debut for Portugal back in November. Ait-Nouri, who was away at the African Cup of Nations with Algeria. Now Neto again. This is all left-hand side as Wolves come forward. It's a great touch. It's Ait-Nouri who's flicked it into Neto, into the penalty area, tried to tee up a teammate. That pass was blocked. Then Neto tries to shoot, and they want to corner Wolves, but it's going to be a goal kick. That was a chance, and Neto didn't quite take it as sharply as he might have done.
Nah, it's down that left-hand side though with Ait-Nouri and Neto. You're right, Conor. But I don't know why he shoots. He looks for Hwang, and that always happens, where you got the wide man. He should get his shot away, and he looks for his teammate, the central centre forward. But they've started ever so well, Wolves have.
So Krbic to take the goal kick, wearing all black, away to our right-hand side. And Sheffield United, they have conceded 65 Premier League goals this season. The last club to let in more than that after 25 games of a top-flight campaign was Ipswich Town back in 1964. I mean, that is how leaky this Sheffield United defence has been, as Nelson Semedo comes on the charge down the right-hand side. That was a good cross, but well alert. Ivo Grbic comes out of his 6-yard box and he grabs that above his head, and that's good goalkeeping.
Yeah, Larouchi's going to have a long afternoon with Semedo. He's one of the best in the Premier League at getting forward. He does get forward. Good pedigree as well, being at the likes of Barcelona. So I like the way Wolves are set up at so far. First time I've seen them live this season, Conor, and they do play free-flowing football.
0-0 at Molineux. Grbic at the back for Sheffield United gives it to Ahmed Hodzic, right-footed clearance up towards the halfway line, looking for James McAtee on loan from Manchester City, who's been hands down Sheffield United's best player this season. Still early stages here, 8 minutes played, but Sheffield United haven't been able to get McAtee into the game at all so far. Kilman shows a bit of confidence, takes on Gustavo Hamer, breaks into the Sheffield United half, and then as he tried to release it up towards Hwang, Ahmed Hodzic was able to nip in, win it, play it back to the goalkeeper. Grbic goes long. Ooh, awkward fall for Craig Dawson, who had flung himself in the air to try and win the header. And when he landed, he sort of landed on his shoulder with the arm outstretched. That's one where you could cause yourself an injury. As it is, he bounces back to his feet and he's okay.
You're right, Conor. But you know, Grbic, I don't know why he's going long to McAtee and Brian Brewster, two of the smallest players on the pitch. Why not try and build up from the back and play? Because Dawson and Kilman and Totti are just going to eat that up all afternoon. So surely you try and split your centre halves and the wing backs and you try and play out from the back.
I guess at this stage, 25 games in, they've sort of tried everything.
Yeah,
sure there's been days with it. Let's try this, let's go to the wide, let's go through the middle, let's lump it long. I mean,
but if you're going to do that, then you might as well play Matt Burnley. He's on the bench.
Very good point.
You've got a big target, man. Yeah.
Very good point. Horses for courses. This is Kilman on the halfway line for Wolves, playing from left to right as we looked at. Great ball with the outside of the left boot. Picks out Hwang on the edge of the area. Trusty's got to be careful here. Hwang, I think the ball had gone out of play before he kicked it back in again. It had. Goal kick to Sheffield United, but Hwang looks sharp. Neto looks hungry. No doubt that Wolves have started this game the better. 10 minutes in, Wolves 0, Sheffield United 0.
No, they have. And you know what? Seeing Kilman, he can play the centre half. So, yeah, he can play.
There's another one against Celtic taking place in the Scottish Premiership. Let's check in with Gavin Wallace.
Barnardo's just took the free kick, lead it off to Matt O'Reilly just on the edge of the box, Conor, but Motherwell defended very well, and it remains Motherwell 1, Celtic 1.
Thanks very much, Gavin.
I need a Celtic goal, I do, Conor.
Yes, you've a vested interest in this.
Yeah, I need Celtic. Come on, Celtic.
Yeah, there's this pride at stake for Clinton's predictions earlier in the season. This is Robinson, the back, who's playing against his former team here. Jack Robinson, back when he was a Liverpool player, he had a loan spell at Wolves many years ago now. Just a little Cruyff turn away from Hwang on the edge of his own penalty area. Picks out Ollie Norwood. Short ball to McAtee. This is a bit more like it now from Sheffield United as they bring the ball over the halfway line. Brewster's made a run ahead of McAtee. Pass comes in behind him, and Totti's able to pick it up and clear away comfortably for Wolves.
Yeah, it was much better. See, that's what we're saying. Play 1 and 2 touch. It's a good run from Brewster. I think McAtee didn't play the ball early enough.
Now here's Neto, pushes it beyond Ahmed Hodzic, sprints after, and then the Bosnian comes and cleans him out, and that's going to be a free kick to Wolves. Well, Sheffield United defenders think that he got the ball there, but the referee felt that there was an aggressive nature to the tackle. It is a free kick to Wolves, crossing position on the left-hand side.
Ahmed Hodzic, he did well because Neto usually burns people, and he got back at him, to be fair, but he doesn't need to go to ground, just match him. No, it's definitely a foul. Yeah. He catches Neto early, but Neto looks sharp, you know, Conor. He does look sharp, really sharp.
Neto gives a look to the referee which says, I'm not going to ask for a yellow because then I'd get booked, but any chance you'd give him a yellow. But no, the card was not.
We can say that. It should have been a yellow.
It should have been. 11 and a half minutes played. Wolves 0, Sheffield United 0 at Molineux. Sunday lunchtime on 5 Live from the BBC. Dawson's trying to get a bit of space. Kilman, plenty tall targets now for Wolves to aim at here. As the delivery comes in from the left-hand side. Free header, Lamine at the front post. And Sheffield United lucky that there was a defender between him and the goal line. Sarabia's latest delivery in. Straight to Bogle. Jayden Bogle clears away but doesn't find a teammate. Neto's first touch was a little soft, but then he recovered the situation. Back out to Sarabia on the left-hand side. And now Neto, there's a great touch by Sarabia. Here comes the ball in low. Difficult height for Trusty, who almost down on his knees heads it out for a corner. Corner to Wolves on the left-hand side. line.
Yeah, it's all down that left-hand side with Out-Nouri, Sarabia, Neto over there, causing all kinds of problems at the moment. To be fair, the first header, I think Lamina should do better. I don't think he gets enough contact, but good defending by Sheffield United.
Sarabia to take the corner. Busy penalty area awaiting. Sheffield United have brought everyone back. Wolves have pretty much sent everyone apart from Nelson Semedo forward. It's played in. Dawson tries to get there and Harmer gets his head to it first. Good defensive header, good distance on it all the way out for a throw-in on the far side. Don't forget we'll be at Wembley for the League Cup final, which is coming up. John Murray and Ian Dennis with commentary of the Carabao Cup final, Chelsea against Liverpool later on. 6:06 at 5:30 after that game, when you can react to whatever has transpired with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. Feels a particularly big final, Dan. Those two have met in a lot of finals, but you know, Klopp's last season at Liverpool, Pochettino needing a spark. That's a huge game today.
Yeah, if Salah and Nunez are fit, I think Liverpool are certain favourites, but if they're not, that's a 50-50 game, Conor. So yeah, can't wait to see the team sheets when Mr. Murray comes in with them at 2 o'clock.
We will bring you that team news as soon as it is released here on 5 Live. Totti Gomez's possession for Wolves. Gives it to Pedro Neto, wide out on the left-hand side. Back to the halfway line once again. And Dawson has decided to go direct. And if this comes off, it's a super pass. Look at that. To pick out Nelson Semedo. People standing and applauding that pass, which went about 80 yards. Nelson Semedo tricking and teasing. Back to Kilman. Floats it in from the right-hand side. Lamina tried to get in front of Ahmed Hodzic. Good defending by the Bosnian. Neto picks it up once again for Wolves, and he's got it 15 yards outside the penalty area that they attack. And then he doesn't fluster himself, he just drags it back, gives a simple ball to João Gomez. Wolves have had good game management so far in this opening quarter of an hour, and they turn and roll it back to Craig Dawson, and now to Kilman on the right hand side, and Harmer tries to put a pressure on him. Back into Dawson. Wolves are back midway inside their own half. Gomez is available. That three-man central defensive unit working well, but then the pass is intercepted. Sheffield United get it back for the briefest of moments, only a flicker, because Sarabia nips in and regains possession for Wolves, who continue to boss it here.
Yeah, they're bossing it, because when Sheffield United do win it, they're giving it back to them. They need to get 1 or 2 passes in, Conor, because it's going to be a long afternoon, and evidently they're going to concede anytime soon if they don't keep the ball for long enough.
Busy week to come on 5 Live Sport. Coventry against Maidstone. Coventry in the FA Cup 5th round tomorrow, plus updates from West Ham against Brentford in the Premier League. On Tuesday we'll bring you Blackburn against Newcastle. That's our pick for Coventry in the FA Cup 5th round. You can listen to Luton against Manchester City on Sports Extra, as Bogle comes in the attack for Sheffield United. Good touch around Ait-Nouri, good recovery from Ait-Nouri, and goal kick as the last touch comes off the Sheffield United player. Goal kick to Wolves. Still 0-0 on 5 Live.
Yeah, it's a good run from Jayden Bogle, and then I think he tries to buy the free kick and the penalty, but it was good defending from Out-Nouri. He does enough, yeah, and it's never been any penalty or contact. Good defending, but good run from Bogle.
A few years back, 2019, Sheffield United came to Molineux and scored inside 2 minutes. Lise Mousset. Wolves came back to draw it 1-1. A goal from Matt Doherty, who's on the bench today. Back at Wolves again. No early goals in this one. 16 minutes played, still 0-0 as Sarabia picks a good pass to Hwang, and then he releases Lamina, who's willingly coming forward today. He's been the most attack-minded of the Wolves midfielders. Semedo on the right-hand side, cross-section deflection, Lamina sliding in and puts it over the top. What a chance. Last touch off the defender Ahmed Hodzic. It's going to be a corner, and Lamina's hurt himself. Did he collide with a post maybe as he slid through? He's down, he's going to need treatment before this corner can be taken.
Yeah, I think you're right, he might have collided with it, but it's a great ball from Semedo. What a ball from Semedo. He doesn't really collide with it. He stops just before he gets to the post. Maybe he's more upset he didn't get. He actually got the last touch, but they give a corner. But yeah, he doesn't collide with the post. He'll be all right.
Well, if he got the last touch, this would be controversial if Wolves were to score from the corner. Sarabia's going to leave it for Pedro Neto, and Lamina is okay. Didn't need the physios to come on. As the corner is taken short. Neto gets it back from Hwang. Left foot across on the Portuguese international. And then João Gomez heads it off target. Tight angle, difficult manoeuvre with his back to goal. In front of the front post, if you like. And he's trying to flick it on. And it goes wide of the target. But Wolves keep chipping away. Keep creating these chances. And they'll be trusting that one is going to go in sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's a good ball. And Gomez, he just gets ahead of the ball. He goes too early. Good ball from Neto.
Wolves have really improved their goal scoring threat this campaign. I was looking at it yesterday. Gary O'Neill's team have scored more than twice as many goals as they had by this stage last season. Joe Gomez has it here in the centre circle. Sarabia trying to return it to him. Good work by Jack Robinson to win it for Sheffield United. And now Larouci tries to take on Nelson Semedo down the left-hand side for the visitors, but the former Barcelona man stands his ground, and the ball goes out of play for a throw-in to Sheffield United. 0-0 here.
You know what, Conor? They have players missing though. No Brereton Diaz, no Camera Archer. They have a lot of players missing on there, Sheffield United.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who would be in the team. John Egan.
Yes.
Baldock.
Very important him.
Yeah.
Definitely a big
Holgate
loss.
suspended. No Max Lowe. He won't be back till next season. No Chris Basham, who's been such a regular. Here's the throw in by Robinson. We've got great distance on that. Robinson's throw in at the back post. Chance for Brewster. Comes back a second time. Shot on target. Saved out. That's the best we've seen from Sheffield United. 2 attempts in 1 from Ryan Brewster, who's never scored a Premier League goal. And Jose Sa puts it out for a corner.
Yeah, the first shot, the throw's dangerous. And they want a handball from Dawson because he does kind of duck into it. Watching the replay again, he's still there. He's chesty, to show that it's not going to be. And then it's a good save from Sa, but good technique from Ryan Brewster.
He's lucky he's got such big pecs there.
Yes,
Dawson
he has.
That's the part of his body that he deflected it away with. VAR will have looked at it all in the background, of course. Here comes the corner. Played in for Sheffield. Now this is where Wolves can be so dangerous. They come charging on the attack. Ait Nouri up to the halfway line. Sheffield United have committed everyone forward. Here's Pedro Neto just outside the penalty area on the right-hand side, taking on Larouci. Accelerating beyond him. Larouci, though, caught up and managed to charge it out, and that'll be a goal kick. End-to-end at the moment, but no goals at Molineux.
Larouci is unbelievable defending, to be fair, because Neto is quick in them one-on-one position. I remember a goal last week, and I was saying, because Tottenham did the same thing and he broke and cut it back for Gomez. But Larouci, brilliant defending, as you said, Conor. He shows him down the line, wants him, and he matches him for pace.
Yeah, Larouci, who used to be on the books at Liverpool, played a couple of FA Cup games for them. He's still young, and he just recently turned 23. Yes, Larouci. And he's operating on the left-hand side of the Sheffield United defence today. Gerbic takes the goal kick for the visitors. Again, it's long and hopeful up the field. Brewster gets a little flick on. And then Harmer sends it over the top, and McAtee is going to get it just outside the penalty area, right-hand side for Sheffield United. Big, tall, strong Dawson with these pecs is able to push him off and clear the ball away. Clever clearance too, because he's given it to Nelson Semedo on the right-hand side. Real confidence. I mean, almost bordering on swagger from Wolves the way they bring it out in the back.
And Dawson as well, outstanding defending. He's too strong for young McAtee, and he just plays a little clip over a dangerous ball to Semedo. But that's how Gary O'Neill wants Wolves to play. They want them to be brave in possession. They certainly have been so far.
Gary O'Neill looking on from the sidelines. Just 10. A chance for Wang to cross in for the right-hand side. It's going to be prodded away by Trusty, not very far. Joe Gomez tries to come forward, and then Sheffield United get a chance to clear away. So Larouci coming down the left-hand side for Sheffield United. Lamina back in position here. Vinny Sousa screaming for a pass to come earlier from Larouci, who's taking his time here and sends a disappointing cross at the end, sails over the crossbar, and out that goes for a goal kick to Wolves.
Yeah, it's a good battle there, Conor, down that left and right hand side, Larouci and Semedo, and he was in a good position there, but he just couldn't get on the end of it.
So Wolves 0, Sheffield United 0. I just want to point you in the direction of the Formula One Back at Base podcast, exclusive access to Formula One's biggest stars in a fly-on-the-wall podcast narrated by Joseph Hines, with access to some of the biggest names in the sport, Mercedes and Williams, as they build their new cars for the 2024 season. That's F1 Back at Base, available from BBC Sounds right now. This is Joe Gomez at the back for Wolves, gives it to Craig Dawson. Dawson, who scored a Wolves winner against Everton in December, a regular provider of almost exclusively headed goals in his career, Craig Dawson. And he rolls it short to Max Kilman. Kilman brings possession into the Sheffield United half. Semedo's ball over the top. Sarabia controls it, nudges it on to Wang, and Ahmed Hodzic comes across as well. He's been good at today so far. He's needed to be, Ahmed Hodzic, as he clears left-footed, but straight to Kilman, and Wolves will come again. Ait Nouri, who continues this central role that he keeps creeping into from that original starting position on the left. Nelson Semedo back to Kilman once again. Wolves looking to turn this possession and territory into a goal in the first half at Molineux.
No, you're right. Sarabia's been good. He's coming up, he's picking up all kinds of different positions, so all good.
Right, there's news coming our way of a goal at Motherwell. Motherwell playing Celtic. Here's Gavin Wallace.
Sit down, Clinton, because it's Motherwell 1, Celtic 2. Adam Ida with only a few minutes left on the clock. He beat everyone to get there from 2 or 3 yards out. The ball whipped in. It was a low cross, and Ida stuck it well beyond Kelly. It is Motherwell 1, Celtic 2.
Thanks very much, Gavin. That's gone down very well in this comment. I mean, you know, we're all fighting so hard to say no bias. Clinton, you're making it hard for us.
Sorry.
Here's Ryan Brewster into the penalty area. Chance for Sheffield United, blazes it over the top, and the curse just continues. Ryan Brewster, who has never scored a Premier League goal. This is his 38th game in the top flight, and he's put that one away off target as well.
Yeah, and he's gone through Ryan Brewster. It's a brilliant run, and he's through on goal, and you're thinking, and he takes too long. He sets himself and he takes way too long, and that's why he can't get a shot away. Totti does ever so well to get back at him, but yeah, he should really be doing better in that situation, Ryan Brewster, and he's still waiting for that first Premier League goal, but yeah, he should do better, but good defending from Totti.
This is Sarabia for Wolves, 15 yards inside his own half, still 0-0 at Molineux. He's tried to play it in front of Neto, but just too far. Grbic comes a step outside his penalty area, uses his right foot to clear the ball away. Ait Nouri collects it for Wolves. He's on the halfway line. And now he's got Lamina with him with the lime green boots. Sheffield United just stepping off a little bit, allowing Lamina to run 20 yards deeper into their opponent's territory. And now Dawson has it inside the centre circle once again. Gary O'Neill, you can see he is issuing instructions to Hwang and to Sarabia. He wants them to drop deep and be available for passes. Wolves pop it over the top, but it's easily gathered by Grbic.
You know what, Conor? You know, when you get opportunities against Wolves, you've got to be clinical. It's a great opportunity. Watching the replay again from Ryan Brewster, it just looked like a centre forward that hadn't scored no goals and was short on confidence, because if that was Brewster 3 or 4 years ago, you would have found the back of the net. So good opportunity for Sheffield United.
Ryan Brewster, who sort of shot onto the scene as a kid at Liverpool, who played in a few cup matches for them. Sheffield United spent a lot of money on him at the time. It was £23.5 million, club record signing for Ryan Brewster. And not only has he not scored in the Premier League, he's not even had an assist. He's just waiting to catch a break. He's been given the central attacking role by Chris Wilder today. That was a chance, and Premier League level, you're bottom of the table, you've got to at least hit the target.
100% spot on, Conor. You have to hit the target, you have to work the goalkeeper, Jose Sarr, and he's got good movement, Ryan Brewster, and he's usually good at finishing. That's just lack of confidence, Conor. 25
minutes played, no goals at Molineux. Kilman again on the halfway line. Harmer coming in to put a bit of pressure on him. Short pass to Ryan Ait Nouri. Sends it out to Pedro Neto on the left-hand side. News of a goal at Motherwell that we'll go to very quickly. Let's just see what Neto does here. He's right on the edge of the Sheffield United penalty area, dancing and jinking. Bogle's tried to hold him up. It's a real tussle between the two of them. Then there's a 1-2 with Ait Nouri. Then it breaks down. So let's go to Motherwell. Here is Gavin Wallace.
It's more or less all over now. Motherwell 1, Celtic 3. Louis Palmer towards the back post makes it more convincing for the visitors. It will finish. Motherwell 1, Celtic 3.
McAtee to the edge of the penalty area. Goes down, Harmer back into McAtee, who's going to spring back up to his feet. Sheffield United have it here just outside their opponent's penalty area. Harmer tried to roll it in front of Brewster, who wasn't anticipating that pass. He had just stood his ground. Harmer thought he was going to run onto it. More disappointment for Sheffield United as Wolves get it back.
Yeah, but he's a threat, Ryan Brewster. He's causing Dawson a lot of threat, because Dawson's a good defender, but he hasn't got he lacks the pace, but his positioning is really good. But Ryan Brewster did ever so well there, but Harmer's got to have a shot. He's on the edge of the box, he's got to put his foot through it.
League Cup final to come from Wembley here on 5 Live. France play Italy today in the Six Nations. You can listen to commentary online, and once this game here at Molineux is over, you can also listen to that France-Italy game here on Sports Extra as well. This is 5 Live for the moment. Second half commentary of this game coming up on Sports Extra as listeners in 5 Live build up to that Chelsea against Liverpool game at Wembley. Next weekend it's the start of the new Formula 1 season. The Bahrain Grand Prix will be all over that in the build up in the week and the coverage next weekend. Dawson inside the centre circle here. No real high press from Sheffield United into the Wolves half. They wait until Wolves come into their half before the pressure is applied. Bogle here, tight corner, right full back position, shepherds the ball out of play because he knows it'll be a goal kick. Goal kick to Sheffield United. away to our right hand side. Like, I guess Chris Wilder will be happy enough in terms of, you're coming away from home against a Wolves team full of confidence, but he needs goals, he needs points, he needs to threaten a little bit more.
You're spot on, Conor. And you don't get a lot of opportunities when you come here, so when you do get them, like Ryan Brewster, he's had a couple. The first one was a half a chance, the second one's a golden opportunity to put Sheffield United 1-0 up. But they've done well in his first 28 minutes.
Bogle jumps with Ait Nouri, the ball comes down on the deck from McAtee, and he runs into a blind alley as he loses possession, hemmed in between two opponents. Dawson rolls it back to the goalkeeper, Jose Sa. Wolves look to get moving once again. All over Motherwell against Celtic. Gavin.
As indeed, Conor. Motherwell 1, Celtic 3. Blair Spittle's goal just on half-time gave the host a little bit of hope, but a brace from on-loan Norwich striker Adam Ida and a late goal from Louis Palma shows the title race is on, and the points gap is now 2. Motherwell 1, Celtic 3.
So the late injury time goals there, making it much more comfortable sounding in the end for Celtic, who were made to sweat. Further reaction to that across BBC Sport later on today. Here's Sarabia for Wolves, wide on the right hand side, gives it into Lamina. That was too fancy, attempted a little drop kick back heel, and now that might be costly because McAtee comes charging down the other end. Really good control, McAtee into the penalty area. Dawson got back just to put him off, and the shot, which was on target, didn't have the power to beat Jose Sa. That one, Clinton, he's running and he never fully has it under his control. He's always trying to get it under control. Every touch is not quite smooth. He did well actually to get the shot away, but that's unlucky for Sheffield United.
It is unlucky, but they're the chances that you have to take on, but you're spot on. He never got the ball under control. It was always bobbling, and if he had it under control, you would have thought the young man would have tested Saab better than that. But yeah, great opportunity, Conor.
Bobble is the word, and he was sort of stumbling, and it was like the ball was hitting divots and he couldn't just get it to a firm touch. I mean, he did well to keep it going because he only had about 8 touches as he went into the penalty area trying to tame the ball and get it under his control. Nelson Semedo has a throw in for Wolves here midway into the Sheffield United half. Gary O'Neill looking on close by. O'Neill, who twice in his playing days scored goals against Sheffield United. Semedo goes down under a challenge from Larousse, and that is going to be a free kick to Wolves. Right, the much anticipated team news from Wembley. Do the big names play? Here's correspondent John Murray.
I think the simple answer to that, Conor, is no, they don't. Chelsea play the same team as at Manchester City last weekend, but their big doubt, their hope.
Sarabia scores for Wolves. Cross from the left-hand side into the penalty area, and the Spanish international rose virtually unchallenged to guide the ball in beyond Ivo Krbic to give Wolves the lead at Molineux. Exactly half an hour played. Sheffield United's resistance eventually gives way. Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0. Clinton.
Yeah, it's good play from Ait Nouri on the left-hand side. I think it's him that he just goes onto his right foot and puts it into an area. Larousse has to stay with him. He just lets him run. It's poor defending, and Sarabia gets in there and heads it into the top corner, but it's poor defending. That is why Sheffield United are at the bottom, because they defend like that. But great header from Sarabia and a great ball from Ait Nouri.
That is why they are down there. Just one Premier League clean sheet this season for Sheffield United, and having tried so hard, defended so sternly, they've given away a soft one there. Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0. Apologies to John Murray. I think we can go back and get the resumption of that team news from Wembley ahead of the League Cup final. John.
Yes, after the little tease, the news is there's no Thiago Silva for Chelsea, and the big news for Liverpool is that neither Salah, Nunez or Szoboszlai will play in this cup final. The hope was they would for Liverpool, but those three not even on the bench. So Chelsea, same team as at Manchester City last weekend. Petrovic, Gusto, Disasi, Colwill and Chilwell, Caicedo and Fernandes, Palmer, Gallagher, Sterling and Jackson. And for Liverpool, 2 changes from their league game in midweek. So Robertson comes into the side at left back, Konate into central defence. So the team is Kelleher, Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson, McAllister, Endo and Gravenberch, and then Elliott, Gakpo and Diaz.
Thanks very much to John Murray. We'll be listening to John later on this afternoon from Wembley. Chelsea against Liverpool. Once we get to half-time here at Molineux, listeners on 5 Live will switch their attentions to the build-up to that game. The second half of this match will be on Sports Extra. Wolves leading Sheffield United by a goal to nil. 32 minutes played now. Aït-Nouri outside the penalty area. Tries to dink one in, looking for Sarabia again. That was a carbon copy of the goal. This time the block on the cross, and the ball trickles out for a corner to Wolves on the left-hand side. Wolves fans will feel they deserve this lead.
Yeah, they do. They do. But you know what? Sheffield United probably had the two best chances, and that's the difference. You don't take your chances, and you don't defend properly. That is why you're at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, Brewster unable to hit the target. McAtee, who couldn't get under his control, he did get it on target, but it was a back pass. It was so tame. And then down the other end come Wolves, who take the lead. Here comes the corner, played in by Sarabia. Larouci heads at the first defender. McAtee controls on the edge of the box, and he's got no one ahead of him. He's nowhere to go, and he just passes it up to nobody on the halfway line, and Wolves regain possession once again. This could be a long afternoon now for Sheffield United.
It can, because listen, when they've conceded one, they go and concede 2 or 3, and then it starts getting out of hand, Conor. Especially when you've created chances.
A season that has threatened to get out of hand for Sheffield United for a long, long time. We've come here to Molineux with some memories of bright spots. Sheffield United's first Premier League win this season was against Wolves. But now, if they're to repeat the trick today, they're going to have to come from behind to do it. Sarabia's touch is asking a lot of Neto, but he's so fast, Neto, and he's glided through them, and then he's very unfortunate not to pick out Nelson Semedo. Little toe poke of a pass that just went the wrong side of the right wing back, who'd made a great run forward. They're blistering now, Wolves. They're enjoying it, you can tell. This is Sarabia, just outside the penalty area. Gives it to Pedro Neto. 6 teammates wait in the middle. Here it comes from Neto, blocked for the chest of Larouci. Screams of handball, but it came off his chest. And then clearance again by Larouci. Doesn't go very far, and Sheffield United can't hold on to it. Neto, right wing position, level with the edge of the penalty area that Wolves attack. Kilman has come forward to join in. This is Joe Gomez playing a 1-2 with Aït-Nouri. Sheffield United can't get a kick.
He's so sharp, isn't he?
Semedo, chop turn around Vinicius Souza. Then he takes him on again to the byline, floats it in. No one to the back post. Hwang didn't fancy charging towards it. McAtee clears it away, and he's hurt to the process. Caught by Kilman. That's going to be a free kick to Sheffield United on the edge of their own penalty area.
Yeah, some respite, but before that, the run from Neto was brilliant. He's like twinkle toes, isn't he, Conor? And I think it's a good ball. I just think Semedo, he just slips at the crucial moment when he's in on goal. But yeah, they're a joy to watch. The front three, even Sarabia's been outstanding in this first half as well.
It's that cross from Nelson Semedo. Hwang, who was at the back post, he kind of backpedaled away, hoping it would come to him. Whereas maybe if he'd gone towards the ball, he might have had a chance to get on the end of it. But Sheffield United have struggled with crosses all season. The goal that they've conceded today came from a cross. It's the 17th goal that Sheffield United have conceded from across this campaign, and that is more than any team in the Premier League. Here comes Neto again. Bogle's the defender between him and the penalty area. Neto, short touches, rapidly shoots with his right foot, and then sends it marginally over the crossbar. It's a great attempt from Pedro Neto as Wolves look for a second goal ahead of half-time.
Yeah, it's good advantage from the referee, because Hwang does get clattered on the halfway line, but Neto's one-on-one, and look at the goalkeeper Gribic trying 2 balls on the pitch. They are winding him up. He's had a hard afternoon so far, but the strike from Neto's outstanding. It's just rising over the bar, but he's been the outstanding player in his first half, Conor.
He's been great to watch. Pedro Neto, who doesn't matter what team you support or who you're a fan of, he is a player that you love to watch in full flight. Krvic prepares to take the goal kick away to our right. Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0. 9 minutes to go of normal time until the break at Molineux. Krvic has just been asked to delay the restart here. I'd imagine this is the VAR looking at that challenge a moment ago. As happens, because the communication isn't great, fans don't know why there's a delay.
It's two Sheffield United players are fighting each other. Yes. They're checking for violent conduct because Robinson and Souza have collided in the middle of the pitch and pushing each other.
Now this is massive. Just to explain this for the listeners, there is a VAR check for violent conduct and a possible red card, and it's because one Sheffield United player may have punched a teammate.
Yeah, it was Souza and Robinson squaring up to each other. I've just seen it on the replay, so that's what can happen when you're in a situation like that. You take it out on each other, but you don't need to be losing a player from hitting each other. But I don't think watching a replay now, I can see, look, Robinson and Souza, they're arguing with each other, and it's just little. He pushes him, and he pushes him back. That's all.
No, you're not going to get sent off for that. Even if that was against an opponent, you wouldn't be sent off. Certainly not against one of your own teammates. But look, it sums up the disgruntlement, the unhappiness that Sheffield United are very much feeling. I mean, Chris Wilder will put a spin in and say, look, it shows they care and all that, but it's not a great look when you've got teammates squaring up. And now Robinson's given the ball away inside his own penalty area. Lamina needs to pick the right pass here. Wang wanted to help it on again. Too many cooks spoil the broth. One pass too many there. Someone just needed to shoot, and Sheffield United are able to clear it away. Harmer, midway inside the Wolves half, tries a nutmeg on Ait-Nouri, who slammed his heels together. He says, you're not nutmegging me, and he wins the ball back for Wolves.
I don't know why he's trying to nutmeg. They're not winning. You're bottom of the table. You keep the ball. I don't know why you're trying to do nutmegs. Just give it back to Larouci. He's there. It's not time for tricks and flicks. Keep the ball simple.
Yes, there have been plenty of indicators, as we've mentioned in the commentary, of why Sheffield United are where they are. This has been a tough watch if you're a Blaze fan. Tough watch for Chris Wilder down there. Totti Gomez comes up to the halfway line, and Lamina then sends it back to Dawson. Wolves just pushing the ball around with such ease, and now Kilman pops it over the top. Trusty ahead of Wang, uncertain touch, came off his shin pad. Wang very strong in the shoulder charge, and then he stumbled, and he's unfortunate there, Wang, because Trusty's bigger and taller than him. Great straight, but it was almost he'd given so much to the shoulder charge that then he couldn't keep his balance.
Yeah, you're right, it was great strength. Like, it should be a mismatch really, but Wang is strong. He's built in stature, and it was great strength against Trusty. But yeah, right, Conor couldn't keep his feet, but they look a threat every time they go forward, Wolves. And if I'm Wolves and I'm seeing two players argue with them, with the teammates arguing of the opposition, I'm happy about that.
Relishing that, absolutely. Lamina wins the header. Trusty then gets a touch for Sheffield United. Wang was in an offside position. The referee finally spots the flag is raised, and that is going to be a free kick to the visitors. Norwood trying to instill a bit of urgency, trying to grab the ball and take it quickly, but not sure his teammates share that urgency. As Ahmed Hodzic now comes forward down the right-hand side. Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0, 6 minutes to go to the break at Molineux. This is 5 Live from the BBC. Full commentary of the League Cup final between Chelsea and Liverpool to come on this network. Larouci has the ball for Sheffield United on the left-hand side. Nelson Semedo comes out to shadow him. Now that forces Sheffield United back once again. Norwood, deep inside his own half. Clever ball to Ahmed Hodzic just over the halfway line. Now out to Jayden Bogle, who returns a 1-2 to Ahmed Hodzic. Now in field to McAtee, who's challenged on the edge of the box. Really good tackle, João Gomez, and that brings a promising build-up for Sheffield United to an immediate end and kickstarts a potential counter-attack here as Nelson Semedo comes over the halfway line. Wolves playing from left to right as we look down at the old gold shirts. Sarabia. It's comfortable now for Wolves, it really is.
It is, but they on the break they can cause problems, Sheffield United. It was good on 1 and 2 touches there, but McAtee can't get his shot off quick enough, and that's been his problem in that final third. I think he's a special young talent, but has to get his shot off quick enough. He thinks it's a foul by Gomez, but I think it's great defending from Gomez.
Dawson has possession for Wolves. Plays it to Kilman, bang on the halfway line, right-hand side. Little flick from Sarabia, doesn't find Wang. And Harmer will give it to Larouci on the left-hand side of the Sheffield United defence. This is Vinicius Sousa, back into Austin Trusty, the United States international. Now Oliver Norwood, still well inside his own half. Wolves just backpedaling away. Norwood tries to pick a pass. It's a well-controlled action by Brewster. Chance to come forward into the penalty area, and then Harmer is out-muscled by Lamina. Very good play, Lamina. What a pass! Neto is on his bike here. Pedro Neto into the penalty area. Wang's inside it, tries to send it in low. Sarabia is arriving here. Larouci shadowing him, and Larouci will clear it away. Wolves looking so dangerous there.
Yeah, it's a bad ball from Neto. It's a great ball from Lamina, but Neto's got to do better. I know he's trying to pick out Wang, but with his quality, he'll be disappointed. But you got to give credit to Trusty and Larouci. It's really good defending, but it's end-to-end at the moment, Conor.
4 minutes to go of normal time to half-time. Wolves leading Sheffield United by a goal to nil. Vinicius Sousa has possession. In the 41st minute, there is applause around the stadium. There's a Wolves fan who sadly passed away recently at the young age of just 41. And that is a recognition for her, whose sons are here in the crowd today. Popular Wolves supporter who's been remembered by her fellow fans right now at the moment on an afternoon that's going very well for the home side so far. Wolves leading Sheffield United here by Sarabia's goal to 0.
Yeah, and Robinson's going to send it in. It's going to be a long throw from Robinson. He's going to send it in, but yeah, fantastic from the Wolves fans applauding. But this will be a good throw in this one, yeah. Conor.
Robinson, who's got low trajectory, plenty of power, and Nelson Semedo wins the header though on the edge of the 6-yard box. Then it's flicked on by Norwood. Ahmed Hodgic back to goal. He couldn't get his body shape right to shoot. Here's Brewster. Wanted to take it down. There wasn't the space for that, and this plays into Wolves' hands as Neto comes away with it now, breaking down the other end of the field. Sheffield United need to get bodies back here. Lamina just outside the penalty area, left hand side. Neto's available in the middle once again. Lamina takes just a few seconds too long, and Sheffield United gets bodies back again. This is Sarabia outside the penalty area, sends it across straight to the chest of the goalkeeper Gerbic.
So, to be fair, at the other end, Sheffield United have a great chance, but the problem is it's so open. What Neto does is he doesn't track back. He stays up high, and he's the danger man because he's so quick and it's hard to get back at and defend. But they're causing problems, Sheffield United, and so are Wolves. Wolves have been a better team, but Sheffield United look a threat on the counter-attack.
Sheffield United hoping that there is some miracle lurking around the corner, the likes of which West Brom had in their Great Escape year, the likes of which Leicester City had. Remember the season before they won the title, Leicester, when everyone thought they were going to go down, and they actually finished remarkably well. Here is Hwang into the penalty area for Wolves again. A second goal would surely crush Sheffield United ahead of half-time. Nelson Semedo's up on the right-hand side. He'll roll it back to Sarabia. By the way, I was looking back on it, so the year that West Brom stayed up, they had 17 points at this stage of that season. Leicester City also had 17 points from 25 games played. The trouble for Sheffield United, 25 games played before today, they've only got 13 points.
I don't give them a chance, Conor, and that's not being disrespectful. That's just being brutally honest. They're just not good enough at the moment, so it's been a struggle, but they just have to keep going and keep believing.
Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0 for now. Neto's in possession. Nice ball for Totti Gomez. Pulls it back for Lamina on the edge of the penalty area. Totti Gomez will continue the run into the penalty area. Shoots and blocked by Trusty. An important block for the Sheffield United defender on the edge of the 6-yard box. Neto sends it in again. Sarabia! Left-footed shot. Too high over the crossbar and into the Wolves fans.
Yeah, it's a good chance for Sarabia. He's got great technical ability, but I have to say it's good defending from Trusty when Totti's in on goal. He throws his body on the line. It's really good defending. Good ball from Neto. Sarabia can't control it at the back post.
Seconds remaining of normal time in the first half. The fourth official is preparing the board to let us know what's going to be added on. Graham Scott is the fourth official here at Molineux this afternoon. He's got the board in his hand. He's just waiting now to raise it in 9 seconds from now. Little flick on there by Brewster, won't find a teammate. And then Hwang can't control either as Larousse clears away. Just 2 minutes to be added on for stoppages ahead of half-time at Molineux. The goal from Pablo Sarabia separating these teams, but Wolves have been completely dominant. Here is Norwood inside the centre circle, passes out to Bogle on the right-hand side, taking on Ait Nouri, pushes it one side of him, tries to sprint around the other, but it's easily read by Totti Gomez, who comfortably regains possession for Wolves. And here they go again. Ait Nouri spins around, a pirouette 360 degrees to avoid James McAtee. Then he passes it to Nelson Semedo on the right-hand side. Semedo with the long sleeves and the gloves today. I think he's the only player on the pitch wearing gloves, Nelson Semedo.
Him and Totti.
Oh, Totti as well,
yeah,
yes.
Because he's over the other side. But it is a cold one, because I'm going to put my gloves on at half time.
It is cold.
I am getting my gloves on. I see the producer's got gloves on, so I'm definitely getting mine on.
This is Dawson inside the centre circle for Wolves. If anything, I think Gary O'Neill's half-time team talk will be warning against complacency. Because it has been very comfortable at times. Ait Nouri solid in the crunching tackle against Brewster, but too solid, and he's committed a foul there. Free kick to Sheffield United, who trail by a goal to 0 here.
You're always thinking when it's 1-0, you have to, the next goal in the game is important, especially if Sheffield United can go and get it, they can maybe get something. If Wolves get it, then it's game over. So Chris Wilder will say to his team, like, we've been in it, one mistake from Larousse where he switches off, but they've created enough chances to cause Wolves problems.
Norwood's going to take the free kick. Sheffield United have sent all their outfield players up into the Wolves half. Norwood raising both hands high above his head as the signal, plays it in, but the clean forehand of Craig Dawson jumps and wins the header and gets it back to the halfway line. Larousse, under pressure from Sarabia, turns and rolls it all the way back to the goalkeeper Gerbic. His clearance, right-footed, out towards Harmer, easily cut out by Nelson Semedo. Semedo though gives it away to Larousse, just inside his own half. Back behind him is Jack Robinson, and Robinson's clearance is met by the shrill whistle of referee Darren Bond to bring this first half to an end. So, lovely inviting cross from the left-hand side, pounced upon by Pablo Sarabia, his third goal in the Premier League this season. Wolves in front, and if any complaint of Gary O'Neill will be that they're not in front by a wider margin, Clinton.
No, yeah, definitely. I think the chances they've missed, but at the same time, Sheffield United have missed a few chances. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I don't know why you'd be changing shirts at half-time.
No.
Sosa and Gomez, and you're doing it in front of everyone when you're losing the football match. Do it down the tunnel. Don't do it on the pitch. But as I said, listen, it's fair. They can do what they want, but if I'm a Sheffield United player, I'm saying get in and don't do that here. It's not a good look.
No.
So, but yeah, it's been a good first half from Wolves, but Sheffield United are not out of it, but Wolves have been dominant.
No, they're not out of it, and that is the most positive thing that you can say for Sheffield United. How many times this season have we seen the pendulum swing in the second half of a game, and Chris Wilder has got to hope that that could be the case, but they need fresh ideas against a Wolves team who've been enjoying this game and in truth probably should be more ahead than they are. At the break at Molineux, it is Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0.
Fresh ideas, Clinton Morrison, and maybe some fresh discipline. Teammates squaring up to each other a week after that awful Mason Holgate red card. These things are all linked, aren't they? There's a problem there.
Yeah, there is, but loads of people, when you know, Crossy, when you're frustrated and you're down the bottom of the table and you're conceding goals, you do get frustrated and you end up arguing with your teammates. But it don't look good. I agree with you, it don't look good. And people will come out and say it's passion. Show passion on the pitch by running that extra yard, making that tackle, stay with your runner, or putting the ball in the net. That's passion. But I can understand it happens in the heat of the moment, but nowhere near good enough Sheffield United. The defending is poor for the first goal.
Clinton, Conor, thank you both very much. The Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0. Second half commentary of that Premier League game will be available on 5 Sports Extra. Here on 5 Live, we'll be focusing on the League Cup final. We're live inside Wembley Stadium. Chelsea versus Liverpool gets underway in 40 minutes' time. There's one match in the Six Nations today as well. France-Italy. Commentary of this one starts on the BBC Sport website. You can listen to it on 5 Sports Extra from 3:30. Claire Thomas is there for us. What's at stake today, Claire?
Plenty, in short, but very different things for each side. A win this afternoon is an absolute non-negotiable for France, who've never lost to Italy on home soil in this competition. They seem to be suffering from a sort of elongated World Cup hangover after that heartbreaking quarter-final exit to South Africa, so they are desperate to rediscover some snarl today whilst keeping their campaign hopes alive and entertaining the 50,000 gathered in Lille. Italy, they're injury-stricken and bedding in a new head coach, so this afternoon is about putting out a respectable performance against one of their bogey teams, with all eyes on their final 2 fixtures against Scotland and Wales, when they are hoping to rid themselves of the wooden spoon they've been saddled with for 8 years now.
Build-up and commentary on the way then to the 2024 League Cup final between Chelsea and Liverpool. We'll bring you the full team news. We'll go through all of the key battles and then we'll bring you full commentary here on 5 Live after the latest news with Stuart Clarkson.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Steve, thank you. Good afternoon. The Conservative Party is coming under more political pressure after its former Deputy Chairman Lee Anderson was suspended from the Parliamentary Party yesterday. He'd refused to apologise for saying the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, was controlled by Islamists. The Deputy Prime Minister, Oliver Dowden, declined to call those comments Islamophobic, but said he shared concerns that they could be taken that way. Yemen's Houthi fighters have warned they won't stop their attacks on commercial shipping in the Red Sea unless Israel ends its assault on Gaza. The group backed by Iran made the comments after a joint US and British military strike against its weapons sites. Police in Staffordshire are searching for a teenage boy who's thought to have got into difficulty at a lake near Leek. 2 other boys aged 17 managed to get out of the water at Rudyard Lake last night. And Donald Trump's remaining rival in the race for the US Republican presidential candidacy, Nikki Haley, has said she will fight on after a defeat in her home state of South Carolina. She congratulated the former president but said her roughly 40% of the vote share was not some tiny group. It's Mr. Trump's 4th consecutive victory in the contest to be the party's candidate for this year's election.
thought my life was over. That's where the real story begins.
On BBC iPlayer, 3 British men who were charged with drug offences in Dubai say they were tortured in custody.
Dragged out the car, slapped round the face. One of them naughty slaps people go...
A gripping new documentary.
You could get 25 years or a death penalty.
Absolutely bricking it.
Hi, surviving a Dubai drugs bust.
Did you worry that people weren't going to believe you? Say what you want. Say I did it, say I didn't do it.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
BBC Radio 5 Live.
The EFL Cup Final, live from Wembley with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Welcome back to Wembley Stadium as the Chelsea fans in front of us all take their feet and the Chelsea players come sprinting out of the tunnel to begin their warm-up proper. The Liverpool players in their black tops, red shorts and red socks have been out for a good few minutes already, are just going through a few drills, calming some nerves perhaps. A lot of young players involved in this 2024 League Cup final. We'll go through it all, but we're going to start with the managers because Chelsea versus Liverpool means Pochettino versus Klopp, and they have history.
And there goes the final whistle as Jurgen Klopp shakes hands with the beaten Maurizio Pochettino.
Nobody can replace Jurgen Klopp now. They don't have to replace Jurgen. They have to find a good manager, no? Because nobody will replace Jurgen.
Liverpool are acclaimed in Madrid as the 6 times European champions. But for the first time, it is silverware under the management of Jurgen Klopp.
This club, especially with the team we have, needs a manager in its top game, at its top level.
It means a lot for us, like a coaching staff, to have the possibility to arrive on the final and to challenge a team like Liverpool.
Tottenham have sacked manager Maurizio Pochettino and his coaching team after 5 years in charge.
The day has finally come. The great red drought has come to an end. And after 30 long years, Liverpool are the champions again.
I'm so excited to come back to the Premier League.
Maurizio Pochettino emerges from the tunnel, the former Tottenham man. This is his first match in charge. Jurgen Klopp was standing there waiting for him at the top of the tunnel, and they embraced together.
Jurgen Klopp says Liverpool are reloaded, Chelsea under Pochettino rebooted.
Nunez's cross, and it's in from Diaz. Slides it in for 4-1. Luis Diaz putting down a marker ahead of the Carabao Cup final in just over 3 weeks' time.
Either it will be the first trophy of the final season for Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, or the first for Chelsea under Todd Boehly, and the first in English football for Maurizio Pochettino. Chelsea versus Liverpool in the League Cup final, and Ian Dennis has the teams.
Well, Chelsea are unchanged from the side that played Manchester City. There is no Thiago Silva. Petrovic is in goal. Gusto, Disasi, Colwell and Chilwell. Caicedo, Fernandes and Gallagher. Palmer, Sterling against his old club, and Nicholas Jackson. And everyone will know about the well-documented Liverpool problems on the injury front, and as a result there is no Nunez, there is no Salah. They're not even involved, they're not even on the bench. Kelleher, even had Alisson not been injured, would have started this League Cup final. The defence is Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson. They make 2 changes, Konate for Kwanzaa and Robertson for Gomez from the team that played against Luton in midweek. Gravenberch, Endo and McAllister in the midfield. Elliott, Gakpo and Luis Diaz are the front 3.
So we have Ian Dennis, correspondent John Murray, Alan Shearer, who've been with us this afternoon on 5 Live Sport, and we've got a special guest as well, former Sheffield United manager, took them up to the Premier League last season, of course, Paul Heckingbottom. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, nice to be here.
Oh, it's lovely to have you, and it's great because we can get lots of manager perspectives. The first one is, if you were Jurgen Klopp, how do you deal with no Salah, no Nunez, no Szoboszlai? An easy one to start.
Yeah, and listen, an easy one to start, but they've done it in recent times. You know, the form's fantastic. They've been filling the gaps with the younger players and the rest of the squad. So those players who are stepping in to fill those big shoes, it's a huge opportunity for them today, and they won't approach the game any different despite which players are on the pitch. You know, they've got a real set way of playing, try and control all elements of the game, and they're very good when the game gets chaotic as well. So yeah, the expectation won't be different even though those players are missing.
There's a temptation, Alan, to think, you know, will they have left it until the very, very last minute? Do you think they'll have known and they'll have been prepared for this?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when both teams walked around Wembley this morning, there was no Salah or no Nunez, so they would have known for a couple of days and they would have planned for it. But I think such is Jurgen's personality and such is the size of the football club, and how many debuts, how many chances he sort of give to players and to younger players, that doesn't faze him. I mean, I did the Liverpool-Arsenal game when Bradley came on, Bobby Clark came on. I mean, that was such a critical time of the game as well, you know. So for him to have the belief at that stage of the game, when you're under huge pressure, shows the belief that he's got in some of these youngsters, and he might have to call on a few of them again this afternoon. And that's the big thing for me in terms of when you look at Liverpool over the years, that a lot of the time Jurgen has used substitutes, whereas today you look at that substitutes bench, and although you won't be afraid, but it's certainly not as strong as it has been over the years.
It also gives you belief if you're the opposition manager, presumably, as well, Paul. If you're Maurizio Pochettino, you look at your own team, of course you do, but equally he'll have known, like we knew, that there was a chance that these players are going to be absent, and obviously he's going to be delighted that they are.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, regardless, it's all about Chelsea. They'll have prepared the same way. However, if you're one of Chelsea's back four, looking at the likes of Diaz and Salah, not in the starting 11, they are going to lick the lips and be thinking that it is a better opportunity for them.
We talked about so many of the players over the course of the first few hours of the show, Alan, but I really wanted us to get in and focus now on Cole Palmer, because he kind of spreads the course here, and that we talked about the importance of the experienced players and these youngsters as well. He is one of the most important players, despite the fact he's one of the younger players.
Yeah, I mean, he's shown great character, and I think as a top footballer you have to have a little bit of arrogance in a good way, and I'm not being disrespectful in any way, shape or form to him, but I like his arrogance that he's got. I like that he's got great belief in himself. I like that he was probably told that if he had stayed, then he wouldn't have played as much. So he said no, and you've got to respect that. You've got to say, well done for getting out and say, I want to get out and play and I want to make a name for myself at a huge football club, albeit, and it hasn't fazed him at all. And he's probably the most important player now at Chelsea, and he's having an unbelievable season.
I wonder, Paul, if exactly that part of Cole Palmer's personality, if he does have that little bit of arrogance about him, that might be both the reason, or part of the reason, that Manchester City were willing to let him go, and also part of the reason Chelsea were desperate to have him.
Yes, both. But also, when you're a young lad coming through and it's your football club and you've come all the way through the ranks, there's maybe a perception that he is still a young boy at Manchester City. He is down the pecking order a bit behind the world-class stars that they've got. Take him out of that environment, put him a big transfer fee, gone to another big club, but all of a sudden he's not one of the young players who's come through. There's a different expectation, and with that comes a different mentality, and it's bringing the best out of him.
Do you think, Alan, the fact that you go back to the FA Cup final last season, the Manchester derby, Cole Palmer was in that squad, but he was on that bench, and he's had a couple of experiences at Wembley, Community Shield, that kind of thing, but having tasted the FA Cup final, even amongst the substitutes, will that give him a bit more preparation to start in a big Wembley Cup final this afternoon?
Yeah, I think so. But I honestly don't think that will faze him at all. Looking at him and what he's achieved, and look at him strut around in a good way, as if to say, you know what, I actually belong here. I belong at this level, and they're the players that you want in your team, because there'll have to be a time today, at some time, that Chelsea will suffer in terms of possession or whatever it is. But then you're still looking, although he's not an old player, you're still looking to your best players to say, OK, let's hang on here, still give me the ball, I'll take the little bit of pressure off us. And he's a guy that can do that.
Listeners on 5 Sports Extra, you're now going to go to second half commentary of Wolves against Sheffield United. So you now will be joining Clinton Morrison and Conor McNamara. Here on 5 Live, we're going to continue the build-up to the League Cup final. We've got 30 minutes until kick-off. John Murray, Ian Dennis, Alan Shearer, Paul Heckingbottom, all with us on 5 Live Sport. Right, let's hear from the first of the managers then, shall we? Maurizio Pochettino. Chelsea, much improved, Paul. Played really well at the Etihad in the Premier League last week. He's been speaking to John Southall about what's happened since they were hammered 4-1 at Anfield at the end of last month. He says there's been a noticeable change.
I still know his first game, derby away, nobody watching. on a pitch, not.
I think for me it's not about to change. Of course, the transformation of the team, and when you compete in a different way, it's about, to be more mature and to be, this type of process. You need that this type of thing happen, and to really, wake up about the situation. I don't know if it's wake up or realize when you experience some moment, you have the possibility to be different and to behave different. But maybe that was good for us to feel the pain, negative situation against us, and to be, stronger now, and to find the way to compete better and to start to see that we need to live in a different way, the spirit of the team. You can see that now the team, when it's on the pitch before start the game, they are all together. They told the communication is much better, but always that need to be natural.
Mauricio Pochettino there ahead of the Carabao Cup final, which will be starting shortly on 5 Live. But here on Sports Extra, we are sticking with the Premier League. Wolves leading Sheffield United by 1-0. Back underway for the second half. Pablo Sarabia's goal separating the teams. Wolves playing from right to left as we look down in this second period in their old gold shirts and socks, the black shorts. Sheffield United in red and white stripes. And an early attacking throw-in for the visitors, which Jack Robinson will look to propel into the penalty area. He's got a dangerous technique. He sends it in low and hard. Wolves aware of it. You can see all the Wolves defenders taking a step back. They know what's coming here as it's launched into the box. Dawson wins the header. Bogle tries to prod it back in again. Kilman maybe might have left that for the goalkeeper. He didn't want to take any chances in any event. Lamina clears, but it's a skewed clearance. He's not got any distance at all. Vinicius Sosa will try and keep it alive here, and he's done well, and he pulls it back for McAtee, who's going to get a corner. So a mistake at the back for Wolves means that Sheffield United get an early corner here at the start of the second period. Here's Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, I think Kilman could have let that aside. There was no communication, and there was poor clearance on Lamina. Good feet from Sosa, but good defending from Kilman at the front post.
No changes in personnel over half-time. We'll give you a reminder of the lineups in full after this set piece. But Gustavo Hammer has come across to take it. Right-hand side as Sheffield United come forward in front of the Wolves fans here. Short run-up, right-footed cross. Ahmed Hodzic trying to get there at the front post. Neto leaning back. There's a Wolves player who's slow to get back to his feet. It's Lamina. He's holding his head. The referee is obliged to hold up play, and there may be some treatment required for Mario Lamina here. So while we've got the break in play, a reminder of how they line up. Jose Sa is the Wolves goalkeeper. 3 central defenders, Max Kilman, Craig Dawson and Totti Gomez. The wing-backs are Nelson Semedo and Ryan Ait-Nouri. In the centre of the midfield, Mario Lamina alongside João Gomez, and then Pablo Sarabia and Pedro Neto either side of Hee Chan Hwang, who leads the attack for Wolves. The Sheffield United team, Ivo Grbic, who's back in goal this afternoon. 3 central defenders, Ahmed Hodzic, Robinson and Trusty. Game is back underway. Bogle at right wing back, Larousse left wing back. Norwood is the anchor of the diamond midfield. McAtee is the tip of it. Sousa and Hamer in there as well. And Ryan Brewster leading the attack. 2 good chances in the first half for Sheffield United. Brewster and McAtee, and either of them able to score. Otherwise, it's been all Wolves down the other end. Sheffield United have possession here. Robinson passes it infield to Trusty, and he'll send it back to Grbic, the Sheffield United goalkeeper. Sheffield United, who've got a tricky game next. They host Arsenal. That's a Monday game at the back end of next weekend, and after that back-to-back away matches, Bournemouth and then Manchester United for Sheffield United.
Nice and easy. Not.
This is Bogle into Ryan Brewster, who seemed to stumble as João Gomez came in to challenge him. Brewster tries to battle on here, helped out by Ahmed Hodzic. He shoots, takes a deflection. It's another corner. Second corner in the opening couple of minutes of the second half for Sheffield United. Still 1-0 they trail.
Sean, this has been a good start for Sheffield United in the second half, Conor. On the front foot, causing problems.
This is what they need in the first half.
This is what they need in the first half. Why does it always take 45 minutes to get going when you're a goal down?
It is one of the conundrums as Gustavo Hammer prepares to take the corner kick, short run up, nice delivery again. Vinicius Souza tried to jump, but it's Craig Dawson who wins everything in the air, who heads it away. Trusty tried to tip it back in, too much on it, easy take for Jose Sa, whose overarm bold distribution is just too far in front of Ryan Aït-Nouri, who sort of waves an arm of apology. He knows he should have kept it in play anyway. But Wolves, in their eagerness to spring a counter-attack, just went a bit too quick there and have given possession back to the visitors.
Yeah, they have. Trusty there, you can see like it's a centre-back in a difficult position, because there he's over it. When it's come back in for Larouci, he's trying a shot that's nowhere near, and he tries to flick it. But they've been much better in the second half. They've got to keep believing they could get something.
Bogle, just over the halfway line for Sheffield United, turns and gives it back to Ahmed Hodzic. Bogle has it again, forced to retreat here under pressure from Neto, and he goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, away to our left-hand side. Sheffield United did get their first away Premier League win of the season in their last away game. That was 2 weeks ago at Luton. But you've got to go back a long way. 2019 for the last time Sheffield United had 2 Premier League away wins in succession. Throw in for Robinson at left back. Gives it to Gustavo Harmer. Now Larouci. Intricate little 1-2 attempt. Breaks down for Sheffield United. Wolves clear it away, and that will eventually go out for a goal kick away to our left. Sort of a more quiet mood around Molineux at the start of the second period. This place was absolutely bouncing at kick-off.
Yeah.
But Wolves fans may be a little bit concerned that Sheffield United have started this second half better.
Yeah, definitely. Or they're just coming back from having their pies and their hot drink, and now they're ready to get going. But to be fair, credit Sheffield United, they've silenced the fans, because they've started well in this first 5 minutes.
It's a day for a pie and a hot drink in the Black Country. As Totti Gomez wins a dominant header against Ryan Brewster. Now Hwang trying to lay it up for Pedro Neto here. Neto tries to get it back to Hwang, and sliding across goes Trusty to put it out for a throw. Throw in to Wolves attacking position down the left. Wolves leading Sheffield United here by 1-0. We've played 5 minutes in the second period. Neto, left wing, gives it short to Aït-Nouri. He's got 3 opponents around him, so he's got to scamper back, and he plays it back behind Dawson, who'll run back to the edge of his own penalty area. So Wolves yet to really click into the groove that they were in the opening 45 minutes. Not reached that level yet in this second period. Dawson at a standstill. No pressure on him. Oh, and no pressure on him. He plays a poor pass, gives it away to Bogle. McAtee now down the right hand side for Sheffield United. Totti Gomez is the defender. McAtee plays it into Bogle in the penalty area. Dawson, who's having a wonderful game, makes the interception, and Wolves will clear it away again. Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, the fans are panicking, but that's how Gary O'Neill wants them to play, slow build up. You can see a lot of teams are doing it, and sometimes it doesn't come off. It's a sloppy pass from Dawson, but you got to believe the process, and that's how Gary O'Neill wants his team to play.
Wolves have it just outside their own penalty area. Ryan Aït-Nouri, who wears the socks low down on his ankles. His shin pads must be tiny. I mean, the rules of the game are you must wear shin pads. There aren't rules as to how big they need to be. But, you know, I'll be surprised if his shin pads are more than 1.5 inches in length.
You're not wrong. They're tiny. And sometimes people, they don't even like wearing them. Some players don't like wearing them.
Here he is. Ryan Aït-Nouri bringing the ball over the halfway line, rolling it into the feet of Lamina, 10 yards inside Sheffield United territory. Challenged by Vinicius Souza, who makes a well-timed challenge to win the ball, but then he can't hold on to it. And then Totti has to swivel away, and he's done well, recapturing controlled possession for Wolves. 20-3 in the afternoon. 3 o'clock kickoff at Wembley. Build up to that League Cup final right now over on our sister station 5 Live. At the end of this game here on Sports Extra, we'll be winging our way to France against Italy in the Rugby Union Six Nations. If you're a big rugby fan, you can keep across the opening stages of that. It also kicks off at 3 o'clock online on the BBC Sport website, but once the live football has ended here, we'll be joining that commentary on Sports Extra too. Choice of listening across BBC Radio Sport this afternoon. McAtee has it on the halfway line for Sheffield United. This is the start they would have wanted in the first half. Ryan Brewster into the penalty area, down the right hand side, well-timed tackle by João Gomez to win it back again. And Sheffield United were trying to step up a gear and Wolves not allowing them do it. Norwood wanted to give it to Harmer there, and McAtee thought the pass was for him. He stretched, but all he succeeded in doing is nudging it away from his teammate. That really sums up where Sheffield United are. Robinson wins possession back for the visitors, brings it over the halfway line. There's still just one goal in this. Robinson to Larousse, edge of the penalty area that Sheffield United attack. Left hand side as they come forward. McAtee receives with his back to goal, takes on Kilman, low shot across the face of goal and wide. It's so much more improved from Sheffield United, but where was this in the first half when the game was still 0-0?
Yeah, and Wolves have been sloppy in the second half, too slow, and you can see the fans saying to the Wolves players, play it quicker, get forward quicker. But credit to Sheffield United, good little play there. McAtee goes past Kilman. He'd be disappointed he's not hit the target, but it's much more positive from Sheffield United.
It's a good player, James McAtee. Yep. I guess the trouble is, he's a good player. That's why his parent club is Manchester City. Yeah. But that's a very difficult team
to get into,
to break in. Is he quite that level? That's the thing.
That's the hard one. But if he can't get in there, he'll go back on loan to a Premier League club, because I think, as you mentioned earlier, he's probably been Sheffield United's best player this season.
He was only 20 at the start of the season. James McAtee has turned 21 now. Probably still waiting for that growth spurt to kick in. He's a diminutive footballer, but I mean, that's not been a problem at City. You look at all your David Silvas and Bernardo Silvas in these days; they're not giants,
exactly.
But here is Sarabia, far side of the pitch from us for Wolves. Plays a little 1-2 with Max Kilman. We've played 10 minutes in the second half now. Nelson Semedo's made a good darting run down the right hand side. Sarabia's pass just kept in play at the byline by Nelson Semedo. Up against Larousse now. He's got two waiting in the penalty area. Gives it back to Joe Gomez, now to Ryan Ait-Nouri. Ryan Ait-Nouri, who's fully embracing the hybrid role between being a wing-back and being a central midfielder in this game. Handball in the penalty area. Joe Gomez flicked it up onto Vinicius Sousa. Huge appeals. VAR are going to look at this. There is no question it hits the hand, but will it be given as a penalty spot kick?
Yeah, you can see the replay here. Oh, his hand is out. It is out. He's in trouble. I know he doesn't know a lot about it because of where his hand is. It is out. It's a difficult one. It's a hard one, Conor. It is a hard one because he doesn't know where he is, and his hand is naturally out. But
do you know why his hand is out? When the ball comes and hits him, he's pulling his hand away,
so they might see that,
and that's why it looks like he's raising his arm. But it's almost like there's contact first and then a raise. Difficult one, and this is why people say, "Oh, we want consistency," but no two situations are exactly the same.
And I've seen them given this season in the Premier League, and I've seen them not given. So it's the consistency, and it's the VAR have checked it, and I think there's no penalty because Wolves players are getting back into the
Gillett is the video assistant referee. They have taken a moment to look at it, but the decision is no penalty. Sheffield United, who nearly had a player sent off in the first half of the VAR review for violent conduct, and that was for two teammates grappling with each other. 1-0 it remains to Wolves at Molineux. 5 Live Sports Extra for the BBC. The Premier League, today's only Premier League fixture, this 1:30 start at Molineux. Sarabia's delivery towards the goalkeeper, two-fisted punch. Joe Gomez tries a bicycle kick, and I think he's connected with an opponent there. Oliver Norwood, who bravely stooped in his head when Joe Gomez tried the acrobatic kick. And as it is, it's going to be a free kick to Sheffield United inside their own penalty area.
Yeah, he misses the first kick, and then he does. He catches Norwood. Good, it's brave defending.
Sarabia's goal came bang on the half-hour mark. It was 25 minutes of game time ago now. Robinson for Sheffield United. Remember, there was a late twist in the tail when these sides last met in November in Bramall Lane, when Wolves thought they were going to win, but Sheffield United, with 2 late goals, were able to turn it around. This is Harmer to Brewster, allowed to turn midway inside the Wolves territory. Larousse's available wide on the left hand side. Now McAtee up against Kilman, down he goes, James McAtee, then he bounces back up to his feet. Now can he pick a pass here? Harmer trying to get the angle for a shot, no room on the edge of the penalty area. Norwood again wasn't intending to pass it to McAtee, but McAtee intercepted the pass, and that sort of crossed wire has plagued Sheffield United today. Here comes Wang down the other end, breaking into the penalty area for Wolves. Trusty's the defender, holding him up. Support arrives, Norwood sliding into. Wang holds onto the ball, but he's had to drift away from danger, and Wolves back to the halfway line. Clinton Morrison.
It was good defending from Trusty, because you thought Wang was getting away from him, and I know the Wolves fans appreciating because he managed to keep hold of the ball, but really good defending from Trusty.
58 minutes on the clock. Nelson Semedo on the right hand side for Wolves, gives it back to Sarabia, back to the halfway line to Kilman. Now Totti Gomez. If it was a bit quiet in the early stages of the second half, the Wolves fans have found their voices again. Pedro Neto, a pass just fractionally too far in front of Lamina. Trusty was solid, made the interception. Harmer now will bring it over the halfway line. João Gomez sprinting, trying to keep up with him. It's pushed on to McAtee. Here comes the cross. Brewster at the back post, gets it on target, but saved by the goalkeeper Jose Sa.
It's unlucky, you know. It's great technique from Ryan Brewster, because the ball in is so difficult, but it's great run from Harmer. He plays to McAtee, who looks really dangerous, causing Wolves problems. The ball in's brilliant ball, but it's such a difficult skill to score from there with bodies, and he does well to control it. Comfortable save from Sa, but much better from Sheffield United.
Just to paint the picture for the listeners, it comes in low. He's got defenders in the way. He can't sort of see the flight of the ball the whole way over. It almost skidding on the surface as it comes towards him.
It's the most difficult technique ever, Conor. You've explained it brilliantly. It's like skids up, and they say try and control it and let it hit you. That's what he tried to do, but it would be some goal if he beat Sa from there.
But green shoots of recovery for Sheffield United, who will take anything they can get in these dire circumstances, rock bottom of the Premier League. Dawson has it midway inside the Wolves half. Wolves would very much like the insurance policy of a second goal here to settle any nerves that are developing. I don't think Wolves had any nerves at all in the first half, but second half some questions have now been asked. Dawson to Totti, 10 yards outside his own penalty area, brings it up towards the halfway line. Ait Nouri challenged by Bogle. Ait Nouri spins away from that tackle, but runs into Vinicius Sousa, who's so good at the tackling as Sousa, and that's going to be a free kick to Sheffield United. And the tide, ever so slowly, is turning here in those little battles in the midfield, and no longer one-way traffic for Wolves.
Because everyone loves a nutmeg. I don't understand why does everyone want to put it through someone's leg. Here, Conor. Sousa tried to do it. Ait Nouri did it in the wrong position. Evidently, you're going to get punished if you keep making mistakes like that.
Harmer wants to get on with it and take the free kick quickly. Shrug of his shoulders. Brewster and McAtee standing in very deliberately offside positions. Now it comes in from Harmer. Flick on by Robinson. Becomes an easy catch for Jose Sa. Defender's header up in the air and easily taken by the Portuguese goalkeeper. Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0. Sarabia's goal in the first half.
It's just the tempo slow, Conor. That's what it is, and I think that's why Wolves fans are getting frustrated. I'm all for the slow build-up, but when you get over that halfway line, can you quicken it up 1 and 2 touch? And I think that's why the Wolves fans are disappointed at the moment.
Totti to Ait Nouri. Back to Totti again. Oh, he's taking his eye off it. Brewster tries to lunge, and Totti just recovered his composure in time to pass it to Dawson. Here's Max Kilman just outside the penalty area. Again, it's almost rope-a-dope at times from Wolves, where they say, right, look, we're just going to play it here, try to draw you out a little bit, and Chris Wilder is clearly drilled into his Sheffield United players. Don't fall into that trap, don't push up too much, because that's what Wolves want you to do. They want to spring in behind. Wang to Ait Nouri. This will be an opportunity here. Nelson Semedo's made a run, and Ait Nouri's unable to pick him out. The ball carries through to the goalkeeper Gervich.
Yeah, see, that's better defending from Luigi. He stays with Semedo, so it's much better defending from him.
Yes, it's a hard afternoon's work for Larousse. He's got to try and come forward himself, but then he's got to keep tabs on Nelson Semedo, who loves to come forward for Wolves. Ball goes out of play. Norwood have been fouled anyway. Free kick to Sheffield United. Norwood takes the free kick, slams it over one side of the pitch to the other to pick out Yasser Larousse. Now infield to Harmer. Sheffield United seeing much more of the ball now, looking more composed in possession. They couldn't string 2 passes together in the first half. This is McAtee to the edge of the area, out to Larousse, tiptoeing his way towards the edge of the penalty area. Lamina makes a block, but he can't win back possession. Hamer, low ball in, looking for Brewster, cut out by Totti. Now can Pedro Neto break from here? He's going to take on Ahmed Hodzic. He's going through the gears. Pedro Neto, little chop turn. Can he keep going? Good defending by Ahmed Hodzic to stop him eventually. This has become a good battle now, Clinton Morrison at 1-0 at Molineux.
Yeah, it has. It's good. It is end to end.
João Gomes just outside the penalty area for Wolves. Sarabia into the box, tries to shoot. Blocked down by Sousa. Sheffield United get it away. This is Nelson Semedo on the far side.
See the problem when Sheffield United get forward, they don't have enough bodies forward. It's only McAtee and Brewster. That's where I think it goes two up front.
Does have Ollie Burnley available amongst the substitutes. Chris Wilder. This is Nelson Semedo winning the ball by the byline. Right hand side, tried to cross it in for Hwang. Cleared away by the Sheffield United defenders. Wolves come once more. Totti Gomez to the edge of the penalty area, swings in a dangerous cross, and LaRouche wasn't taking any chances. He puts it out for a corner.
It's a great ball from Totti Gomez. He can hold his hand up and say, why is no one attacking that? Obviously Wang's attacked the near post, but Sarabia has got to be coming in and locking up that back post.
Wolves 1-0 in front. They can move up to 8th place in the Premier League with a win here. Sheffield United 8 points adrift of safety at the bottom. Sarabia raises his right hand as a signal, sends in the corner, over the top of everyone, out the other side, and a bit of a waste. That goes for a goal kick to Sheffield United.
Yeah, it'd be disappointed, to be fair. It's always the goalkeeper coaches that have the set piece, and when one goes like that, they get blamed for it.
If you're just joining our coverage here on Sports Extra, Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0. You can catch the rest of the action on Match the Day 2 tonight. That's at 11:05 on BBC 1. Dawson has possession for Wolves, just down below us, number 15 on his back. Craig Dawson, who started all but 2 of Wolves' Premier League games this season. Rolls it back to Jose Sa. Dawson wants it back again. And now he'll go long. But Brewster was in to close him down, and Sheffield United regained possession. Trusty's pass was intended for Sousa. Sousa thought it was going to someone else. Here comes João Gomes for Wolves to the edge of the penalty area, pulls it back for Sarabia. So close to a second, crossed the face of goal and narrowly wide. Sarabia hunting for his second goal of the game. It remains 1-0 for now.
Has to be better on the ball, Trusty. I don't understand where he's trying to play that to Sousa. It's a poor pass, but good play from Sarabia. He doesn't get enough bend on it, Conor. You can see it trying to bend last minute to beat Gribic, but yeah, good play from Sarabia.
Decent attempt from the experienced Spaniard. Scored against Manchester United earlier in February, Pablo Sarabia, and he has scored here at Molineux today. Pedro Neto tried to play the ball forward to Hwang, just too high for the Korean. And Trusty's able to nip in behind and just shepherd and secure it back to the goalkeeper, Gerbic. Wolves are at home again in midweek. They've got Brighton here in the FA Cup, that's on Wednesday. And then it's Newcastle away for Wolves, followed by Fulham at home, both those games in the Premier League. Harmer in his final third, pressured by João Gomes. We've given it away cheaply there. João Gomes into Hwang, down he goes, edge of the box. No, nothing doing with the referee. And Robinson should be able to clear here for Sheffield United, but again he's just passed it straight out of play for a Wolves
They're
throw.
not good enough to play out from the back, Sheffield United, so I don't know why they're trying to play out from the back. Just hit the striker's feet and get up the pitch.
You know, there has been an intent, there's been an improvement in performance, but still too many errors from Sheffield United. McAtee is caught by Kilman. Hard but fair, says the referee. Play on. Nelson Semedo, 10 yards in to the Sheffield United half. LaRouche pounces in on in. Last touch off Nelson Semedo. Throw into Sheffield United. This has become a bit more edgy now, and you can see Wolves fans are just sitting forward in their seat and they're thinking, hang on, we were cruising this. Why aren't we cruising it anymore?
You're spot on, Conor. It's the Wolves fans that are getting edgy. They know the next goal. They want that second goal to really kill off this game, but Sheffield United are definitely still in it.
This is Ollie Norwood at the back for Sheffield United. Gives it to Ahmed Hodzic. Just a little injection of pace as he sprints away from Pedro Neto. Now he's got to deal with Lamina. He's made up good ground here, almost to the edge of the Wolves penalty area. Bogle is available outside on the right, just dragging it back under his studs, trying to find a bit of space, getting the head up, looking for options. Chooses a low pass to McAtee. And again, this is where they're trying to play football that they're unable to execute, Sheffield United, at times, and That tiki-taka doesn't resolve anything there, but maybe Larouci could be more direct here. Down the left-hand side, no. Disappointing. And he punches once, twice, down into the turf with his fist. Larouci's disappointed with himself there. It needed a better cross.
Because he's done it the whole time. That's why he's disappointed. He did one in the first half. He has to be better in delivering a ball into the box. It's not a hard skill that. Just get half a yard, and if you can't get it in, Semedo has to defend it and you get a corner. That's why Sheffield United struggle. Not good at that end and not good in the final third. A recipe for disaster.
The Planet Premier League podcast available with Mark Chapman, Cesc Fabregas and Nedum Anua. Statman Davis well talking about who wins the tactical battle between Pochettino and Klopp this weekend in the League Cup final, and future episodes to come on that podcast on BBC Sounds. As the ball goes out for a corner here, corner to Sheffield United. The visiting fans are growing in confidence all the time that we could be about to witness some form of comeback here.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what? That's down to Wolves. Wolves sloppy play in possession, having one or too many touches too much, and Sheffield United are growing in confidence, Conor.
Harmer has sprinted out to plant the ball by the corner flag. He will take the set piece, swirling towards the back post. Totti gets up and wins the header. Bogle didn't have time for the touch he wanted, and now look at Neto in the sprint with Larouci. One-on-one here over the halfway line. Well done, Larouci, to get back. That was like the 100-metre dash, and he did well, Larouci, to beat Neto. And anywhere will do as he clears it out for a throw.
You're right, Larouci, because you're thinking when Neto goes there, no one's catching him. Great pace from young Larouci there, and he matches him, and it's good defending.
He doesn't look like a natural sprinter. He's kind of solid, isn't he? He's got big hips.
He has.
But he can move. Yeah,
he can move.
Once he gets going, you know.
It was a good race.
1-0 Wolves continue to lead. Sarabia's goal in the first half. 5 Live Sports Extra from the BBC in the Premier League. This is Joe Gomez playing a nice 1-2, and across on the right, looking for Wang. Trusty puts it out for a corner to Wolves on the right hand side. The clock ticks on. We have just over 20 minutes of normal time to play.
Yeah, I think Sheffield United are going to make a double sub. I think maybe Osborne and Asula coming on. I'm surprised there's no Matt Burney, to be fair. I just feel like it's a game where you can go back to front, and he's a target man. He can hold it off and you can get runners off him.
So 2 Wolves players have gone across to stand to the corner, Neto and Sarabia. And Sarabia walks away. All kinds of movement. There's some kind of rehearsed move going on here as Hwang comes out to offer a short option. It is played to Hwang. Back to Pedro Neto again. Took a moment to steady himself. Then the in-swinger easily taken by the goalkeeper. So not much inventiveness from Wolves there. Good distribution to Brewster, who's been fouled by Semedo. Now that for me is certainly a booking. There's no attempt to play the ball. Sheffield United are trying to say he's the last defender and all that. I think he's too close to the halfway line for the officials to give a red.
And I think there's someone coming across. It is cynical, you're right. And I think there is someone coming across as well. I can understand why Sheffield United are desperate for it. But the touch was so heavy, it went through to Sarr anyway. But it's a yellow card, you're right, Conor.
Yellow card and a free kick to Sheffield United. But of course, a free kick in which Wolves can bring their full complement of defenders back behind the ball 4. So Ben Osborne is certainly ready to come on. He is stripped and good to go.
He's taking Larouci off. I don't think that Ben Osborne could match Neto if it's a one-on-one race, that's for sure.
That's interesting. Presumably it's a tactical change as much as anything. Off goes Larouci. Yellow card shown, confirming that for Nelson Semedo. Larouci off, Ben Osborne on.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Osborne might give a bit more going forward, and that's why you have to go, and the game will open up.
The trouble is, he did great sprinting back there, but his crosses haven't been good enough.
Yeah, it's not been good enough, so you need better quality to get back into the game.
Yeah, so Larouci hooked. Let's see if Osborne can do any better. Ben Osborne, who scored against Wolves in his Nottingham Forest days. That was over 6 years ago now in the Championship. Here he is taking on Wolves again, this time in the Premier League. 72 minutes on the clock. Wolves lead 1-0. Free kick taken short. Harmer to Osborne. First touch for him since coming on. He'll float the ball into the penalty area. Can't get it above Totti. Comes down from McAtee on the edge of the box. He was challenged awkwardly by Joe Gomez. I agree with you.
It's a foul.
That should be a free kick on the edge of the box to Sheffield United, but the referee says play on.
It's a foul, you're spot on, Conor. It is a foul. I don't know how he can't see that, the referee.
He's somehow made it look clumsy, and I think the referee's given him a benefit of a doubt, saying, oh, accidental or some such, but that was a foul. Robinson, crossfield pass. Aït-Nouri underneath it for Wolves. Chested down by Ryan Brewster. That's a good turn. Away from Gomez. Now Brewster into the penalty area. Down he goes. It started outside the box. Brewster fell in the area, but it's a free kick to Sheffield United. Shooting position. McAtee will fancy this.
Yeah, he's been good, second half, Ryan Brewster. I think he's led the line ever so well. His movement's been good. And I tell you, he's a player, He's had a lot of injuries. His confidence has suffered. But they could get a player back in him because I like him. He's got all the attributes. And we know he can score goals, but good little turn there. And Gomez has to foul him.
So Sheffield United, who have trailed since the half-hour mark, have got their first set piece in the game that is within shooting range. Norwood has had a look at it. Gustavo Hamer, he can hit them. Someone scored plenty of free kicks in his Coventry days, but this looks inviting from McAtee, who is creative. Can he spin this into a top corner? Wolves have erected a 4-man wall. Sheffield United have put 2 men behind that. There's a draft excluder in the middle, congesting the view of Jose Sa, the Wolves goalkeeper, who's trying to keep an eye on this. So it's either going to be right-footed of Hamer or left-footed McAtee. It's hard. Wow. Oh my word, dreadful. That is one of the worst free kicks I've ever seen. It's as if they had this rehearsed move, but nobody told anyone what was happening. Hamer has dinked it to the left-hand side, and there's nobody there for Sheffield United. Can you believe that, Clinton?
No, I can't, because even if you've rehearsed it, look where you are. You're on the edge of the box. Work the goalkeeper. And listen, if you're going to do it, make sure you're in communication with everyone else. I think it was meant to be Robinson running down the back, and Wolves fans are right. That is why you are going down, because you're there. Work the goalkeeper.
Yeah, exhibit number 723 of why Sheffield United are going down, and that free kick will sit prominently. I mean, test the keeper, have a go.
That's what I mean.
Don't be trying to do some fancy.
Don't try and be too clever, Conor. Just work the goalkeeper. You're spot on.
Wow. Just when Sheffield United were building a bit of momentum in the game too. Right, how do Wolves react to this? 1-0 they lead. Sarabia's goal in the first half. João Gomez has it. 2 goals last weekend against Spurs. He gives it to Mario Lemina, comes over the halfway line. You see, things like that affects the confidence. You can see the body language of Sheffield United players. It's like, it's not worth it. Just when they've been instilling a bit of confidence in themselves. Sarabia gives it away too, though. And Sheffield United get it back. Goal kick for Gerbic away to our left-hand side. There's still plenty time here. Quarter of an hour plus the stoppages for the visitors, Sheffield United. But for the moment, they trail by 1-0. We've been mentioning James McAtee, the youngster on loan from Manchester City. Well, Wolves have got a kid from Manchester City on loan too, Tommy Doyle, and they're getting ready to bring him on. Doyle, who knows Sheffield United very well. He was in their promotion squad last season on loan from City, but now in the Premier League with Wolves. Lemina, midway into Sheffield United territory, gives it back to Totti Gomez, and now back to Dawson. A bit of space for Kilman on the right-hand side, and further on to Pablo Sarabia gives it to João Gomez. The quickening of the passing, but Wang can't make it stick, and Sheffield United get it back again.
The second half lacks a lot of quality. On Wolves' behalf, Sheffield United will be happy with this, because once the game's like this, you've got a chance.
Foul on the far side, free kick to Sheffield United. This break in play should allow Gary O'Neill to make his change. So Doyle will come on in place of Aït-Nouri. So the Algerian, who's already started twice as many Premier League games this season under Gary O'Neill as he did in all of last season. But he will be removed to allow the introduction of Tommy Doyle, and maybe Gary O'Neill feels they just need a bit more creativity in the attacking half. So here's a change, and let's see, will Totti Gomez slot across as part of a back four here? Will they keep the 3 central defenders? We'll see how it all settles down. Doyle has come on with a message, a literal written message, which he gives to Lemina, and then he gets it back again, and he comes across and he gives it to Totti Gomez. See, this is social media without the gadgets here, where you've got to write down on a piece of paper.
Let me tell you, Gaz loves a message as well. He loves the tactic boards. He does love that.
Nelson Semedo's got to be careful on the yellow card jumps. Vinicius Souza is down at the moment. I think he's got cramp. Sarabi's got the ball. Gerbic is out of his goal. What's happening here? Wow, very sporting from Sarabia.
Very sporting.
Goalkeeper out of his penalty area. Sarabia could have shot into an empty net. Grbić has come across and shook his head. The reason is because Vinicius Sousa was down, not a head injury, no obligation to Sarabia to put it out there. That is very sporting in a game with just one goal in it.
Let me tell you something, Grbić could have put his foot through it and pull it in Rose head. I think if I'm in that situation, no head injury, I'm going for goal.
So just to paint the picture for listeners at home, Grbić tries to put the ball out of play, but he doesn't hit it hard enough, so he's trying to put it out for a throw, but it's soft and it doesn't reach the sideline. Sarabia picks up the ball and he's got an empty goal to aim for, but he just flicks it out.
Yeah, it's great. It's good sportsmanship from Sarabia, and listen, he'll get a round of applause from the Sheffield United fans, but the Wolves fans will be disappointed he's not gone for goal, because Grbić can just pull it in Rose head, but he tries to be a bit too clever, Conor.
So a break in play, Vinicius Sousa receiving treatment. There is a meeting of minds down in the Sheffield United technical area. They're all down there. Alan Nill, Matt Prestridge, Keith Andrews is down there. One of the great Barnetts, I always say, in football is Keith Andrews.
Yeah,
that's
I don't
a proper
know how
head of hair he's got there.
He's always had a proper head of hair. Said it many a times.
And they are deep in discussion, and now they're bellowing at substitutes, and they're going to make a change here.
Yeah, I think it might be a triple substitution. It might be. I think it's McBurney, Asula, and maybe Tom Davies is coming on, because Sosa's struggling. He might have a touch of cramp over that far side.
Right, flurry of activity in the Sheffield United dugout. There is still a chance they go back to the Steel City with some points this evening. Official attendance up on the board, over 30,000 in Molineux this afternoon for this Premier League game. And they'll be underway at Wembley now. 0-0 for the moment between Chelsea and Liverpool. You can listen to commentary of that League Cup final right now over on our sister station 5 Live with correspondent John Murray and Ian Dennis as well. Alan Shearer part of the commentary team. No Salah, no Nunez for Liverpool, no Thiago Silva for Chelsea, which immediately will see their average age plummet, because they're one of the youngest teams in the Premier League anyway, Chelsea, but you take Thiago Silva out of it and they become a youth team. Game is back underway here. Vinicius Sousa, having received treatment, is waiting on the sidelines. Looks like he will be okay to come back on. Just awaiting the instruction. For the moment, Sheffield United are temporarily down to 10. McBurney is certainly coming on. He's bouncing up and down inside the technical area. He's ready to go. Wolves have possession with Doyle out to Nelson Semedo on the right hand side. The clock ticks on and we're into the final 10 minutes now, as Chris Wilder continues to give instructions to the Sheffield United substitutes who are about to come on. Gomez trying to get it through to Ludmina, who keeps making these forward runs, cut out by Ahmed Hodzic. Here is Bogle, right hand side. That's a good ball in front of McAtee, who'll sprint in around the back of Totti Gomez. Now can he deliver? Brewster's in the middle, Osborne's come to join. This is McAtee, corner angle of the area, right hand side, gives it back to Vinicius Sousa, who's on the pitch, and Sheffield United back to 11. Ahmed Hodzic into the penalty area goes, pulls it into the middle, Brewster jumps, barrels into Dawson, and Wolves get it out for a corner.
It's great play from Sheffield United. The way they played out from the back, it's really good play, and it's good defending from Dawson, and Brewster's now got cramp. So, but really good defending. He's brave defender, Dawson. He'll put his head on anything but positive defending.
You've mentioned a few times, Clinton, I've been impressed with Brewster's attitude today. He is hard working, he's putting himself about. He's only had scraps to feed off, but he's hounding everything, hoping that something comes his way.
I think that could be his last kick of the game, though. He's coming off.
So Brewster will make way.
Norwood's come off for Davis, and Brewster will come off, and I think Will Asula will come on.
So it's going to be McBurney and Asula, two centre forwards to finish the game for Sheffield United.
And Sosa coming off for McBurney. So it's all out attack now, Conor, for the last 10 minutes or so.
They might as well give it everything, Sheffield United. Davis has gone in to stand behind the goalkeeper. Tom Davis, who's unrecognisable from his Everton days. He looks so different now with a different hairstyle.
No way.
Corner comes in. Osula jumps, tries to get a touch. Anyway will do for Wolves to clear it, and Sarabia boots it into the crowd. Throw into Sheffield United, who remain in the attack. 8 minutes plus the stoppages to go. Well, Chris Wilder has gone gung-ho here. He's just brought on loads of attackers to try and force an equaliser in this game. Robinson with the long throw, back up against the advertising boards, giving himself the longest run up he can, throws it in, but Dawson rises again. How does he always be in the right position, Craig Dawson? Again, he's the player who heads it clear. 1-0 to Wolves. Harmer's ball into the penalty area, headed away off Kilman. Another corner to Sheffield United. Incessant late pressure from the visitors.
Yeah, it is. They've been good in the second half, just without having that cutting edge, but they have been good.
So, Harmer to take the corner kick, right hand side, outswinger. Dawson again wins the header to clear it away. Harmer will get another opportunity. To the byline, right hand side, challenged by Lamina. Lamina's hungry, wins it back. Big roar from the Wolves fans. Now, can they counter-attack down the other end? Neto doesn't fancy springing it in front of Wang. Game management, hold the ball, very much the ethos for Gary O'Neill's side here. Nelson Semedo on the edge of his own penalty area, across to Kilman. Wolves know they've got the lead here and they just want the seconds to go by a little faster. Dawson said, right, enough of this, and he wellies it down the field. No more ticky-tack on the edge of your own box. Out comes the goalkeeper, Jose Sa, gathers it to his chest.
Yeah, to be fair, I understand why Neto's not played that ball, because it's a risky ball if it gets cut out, so keep the ball, but they haven't kept the ball good enough this half, Wolves.
10 minutes played at Wembley, Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0 in the EFL Cup final. Commentary available right now on Sports Extra of that one. They're underway in the rugby in the Six Nations. France with an early 7-point lead against Italy. Olivon with a try, Ramos converting it. You can listen to commentary of that right now on the BBC Sport website. As soon as this game is over, 10 minutes or so from now, there'll be commentary of that Six Nations game here on Sports Extra. Tom Davis asked too much of Bogle, but the pass too far in front of him, and that gives possession back to Wolves. Throw into Gary O'Neill's team. Left full-back position. This has become a more frantic finish to the game than it felt it would be at half-time when Wolves were dominating. Sheffield United, who just haven't been able to muster the quality to actually grab an equaliser, but they've done everything but. Davis thought he was being pushed in the back as he won a header there. Another change coming. Bellegarde is going to come on for Wolves, and he will replace He Chan Huang. I didn't see much of the ball today, but an attacking midfielder comes on for a centre forward. Looks like Neto's going to go and lead the attack for the closing stages, but this now is more about conserving the 1-goal lead than trying to add for it for Gary O'Neill.
He weren't happy, Wang, but you know what, it was a slight injury down, and he still got through 85 minutes. But you're right, he was quiet, Conor.
Sarabia to Gomez. Bellegarde just about gets his first touch, nothing firm. And then Dawson fell to the ground. Asula bundled into him. It's not a foul. Jose Sa gets possession, the Wolves goalkeeper. Right, 5 minutes to go.
It's too much of this. Slow. That's why I feel the fans are getting frustrated.
So Gomez to Nelson Semedo. Wolves still midway inside their own half. Most of the second half has been played in Wolves territory. McAtee onto Tom Davis. Now a chance for Osborne to deliver from the left-hand side. He's found McBurney in the penalty area. McBurney tried to shuffle it onto his left boot, but there was no room for a shot. Wolves survived that particular scare. First time Sheffield United have found McBurney in the penalty area since he's come on. Here's McAtee after a quickly taken throw in. Gives it to Osborne, level with the byline. Now back to Robinson. Hoists it in, high and hopeful. Bogle unable to get a clean header, and Pedro Neto tries to clear away, but Ahmed Hodzic gets there first and puts it out. Chris Wilder comes bellowing his arms like a windmill. He wants his team to keep plugging away here, believing there could be a late twist in the tail.
Yeah, there is, and Gary O'Neill is frantically trying to get messages on to his team because they've struggled this half. The second half has been nowhere near good enough by Wolves.
Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0. It feels a long time ago that Pablo Sarabia got his header in the first half. Totti has done well here to spin away from Bogle, who looks like he's got cramp too. Harmer gets it back in the midfield for Sheffield United, and it goes out for a throw into the visitors midway inside Wolves territory. 5 Live Sports Extra at Molineux. The closing stages of today's only Premier League game. Are Wolves going up to 8th? Robinson takes a dry ball off a ball boy, and he's going to give the big long run up. Wolves defenders stepping back inside the penalty area, knowing that there is a long throw arriving. Here he comes, arching the back, spinning it in. Bellegarde with a header, not a firm touch. McAtee flicks it on, and so close at the far post. Osula and Trusty were both there, neither could get a touch. Wolves mightily relieved that that's got out for a goal kick. That could have been the moment.
That was the moment, Conor. You get big moments. It's a great touch from McAtee, and they're on their heels. Will Osula is a centre forward. He has to lock out the back post. He's waiting for something. Instead of expecting as a centre forward that there's going to be a flick, he's waiting. He's on his heels. It was actually good defending by Semedo in the end.
Sheffield United, who have had 3 Premier League wins, that's all in the Premier League this campaign. Wolves, one of the opponents they've beaten. The others were Brentford and Luton. And they are staring in the face now another Premier League defeat as it stands. It's not without giving it everything, but are Sheffield United going to come up short for quality once again? Robinson beats Sarabi in the air. McAtee shows too much maturity to Nelson Semedo. No, Osborne's done well to get there first. Now here's Osula dragging Kilman out of the centre, taking him on. Good work by Kilman. Out-muscled there. Ball had got out of play for a throw, and it's going to be a throw-in to Wolves, and you can bet your bottom dollar they'll take their time over this now, as the seconds tick on. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes remain. Gary O'Neill's about to bring on a defender. Matt Doherty is being prepared for a late cameo here. Sarabia back to Nelson Semedo, hoisted up high in the air, comes down midway inside the Wolves half. Doyle gets a touch, not a controlled one though, and Ahmed Hodgic gets it back for Sheffield United. Davis onto Robinson, out to Osborne on the left hand side, plays the ball into the penalty area, stooping header away by Kilman.
A long throw. It's coming.
Did go out for a throw.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Another chance for Robinson. So he gets ready to play the long throw in. Wolves want to get that defender on quickly. So it is Sarabia, the goal scorer, who makes way to allow the introduction of Matt Doherty here. Doherty, who scored against Sheffield United at Molineux 4 seasons ago in the Premier League. He will come on here just to try and shut down their late ambitions of a comeback for an equaliser. Sarabia slowly walking off the pitch. Wolves looking to add on as much stoppage time as they can, really, because all this is going to be doing is add it on to the end. Doherty now comes sprinting on to join the Wolves defence. Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0. Robinson has had time to ponder this, to get his composure. Right up against the slanty advertising boards. He's got about 4 steps he can make before he's got to throw it, and he sends it in like a bullet. Doherty's first touch, backward header, Trusty with a flick. Bellegarde has a touch. Now Bogle, still inside the penalty area. Doyle is strong and he clears away, and Wolves needed that. They can really do with a breather, these Wolverhampton Wanderers defenders at the moment. 1-0 up into 5 minutes of stoppage time at Molineux.
Yeah, and it's been all Sheffield United, and you can tell why Gary O'Neill has made a lot of substitution. They've been defensive ones, Conor, because he's worried about the threat Sheffield United have caused in the second half.
Throw in for Gomes, header by Ahmed Hodgic, straight out for another Wolves throw. Both coaches out on the very edges of their technical areas. Chris Water said, come on, why is this taking so long? Totti using every trick in the book, as all teams do when you're leading in stoppage time, but it's a narrow lead. And this throw in on its own has taken 30 seconds. Totti's throw. Ahmed Hodgic clears, straight to Kilman. Miscue clears, and we can hear the groans. Angry groans from Wolves fans. He had time to take a touch there, Kilman. But it just shows that they're feeling a bit nervous here. There'll be big celebratory scenes if Wolves win this, because they realise it could have slipped from them. Here comes Pedro Neto. Now, does he go for the corner flag, or does he try and keep the attack alive? He tries to keep it alive. Swings it across, looking for Bellegarde. Controls inside the penalty area. Back to Totti now. Corner angle of the box. Chance here. João Gomez, right-footed shot straight to the goalkeeper. Gerbic spilled it off his chest, but he got it the second time.
Yeah, to be fair, it's good play from Neto. Good ball. And that's a poor kick, to be fair. Both teams have struggled in the second half. The game in the second half is like huge quality, Conor.
Yeah, a lot of unforced errors. Mistakes under pressure are one thing, but mistakes with no one around you is quite different. And Premier League standard does jar a bit. Here is Gustavo Hamer inside the centre circle, looking for William Osula. Came at him high height, tried to control it, unable to do so. Nelson Semedo clears away. It's an opportunity for another long throw from Jack Robinson. We've seen this a few times now. Can Sheffield United get the important flick on here? Wolves defenders steel themselves for the long throw that's about to come. Robinson, who dries his hands in his shirt, dries the ball too. Here he comes, no time to waste. Oh, he didn't quite catch that with the distance that he would have wanted, but it falls to Harmer, who went for the spectacular left-footed volley straight up in the air, and in fact doesn't even go out of play. So Sheffield United keep it alive. Osborne, great ball in. Sa punches away with his right fist. Goalkeeper goes down hurt. Lamina will break out of defence. Sheffield United, who had sent everyone forward, are now thin at the back. And here is Pedro Neto, 10 yards outside the penalty area, fouled by Jayden Bogle. Free kick to Wolves inside the Sheffield United half. And we're now into the 4th minute of 5 to be played of stoppages at the end of this Premier League game.
Yeah, he's frustrated, Neto, because if Lamina gets his head up and just hooks the ball, Neto's in one-on-one, but he delayed it. But it's good play from Neto. He buys his team a free kick.
Lamina getting a stretch from Doherty, but a cramp being felt by Mario Lamina. Our Wolves headed towards another victory here, back-to-back, having beaten Spurs last weekend. Wolves, who, looking to avenge their defeat at Bramall Lane back in November when they were beaten by today's opponents. Is that Pablo Sarabia goal in the first half going to be enough? Doyle takes the free kick short with Pedro Neto, who will now head off towards the corner flag down the left. Challenged by Bogle, out it goes for a Wolves throw, and they'll take their time over that. 10-0 now, France lead Italy in the Six Nations. Commentary available online and very shortly here on Sports Extra. Totti takes his time again over the throw. These are frustrating moments for Sheffield United, who want the ball back, who believe that they're on the verge of an equaliser, but have they run out of time? We've got just over 30 seconds of the 5 minutes remaining. Throw in taken by Totti Gomez. Neto tries to give it back to him. Ahmed Hodgic wanted to play it off the opponent. He thought that was going to be a Sheffield United throw. Referee says no. Throw into Wolves, who again run down the clock, taking as long as they dare. Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0. Totti risking the ire of the referee here by standing with the ball above his head, pretending that he's looking for options, really just trying to run down that clock. Throws it to Bellegarde, tries to break into the penalty area, right by the byline. Goal kick. This is it. Last chance now for Sheffield United. Do or die. Gerbic places the ball. Needs to get on with it here.
Well, I don't know what. The refs give someone a yellow card.
Yes, there was a yellow card.
I think. Yes, Bellegarde.
Or did he just drop the yellow card?
Or did he drop it?
I think he dropped the card.
He must have dropped it, yeah.
Well, we'll confirm that, but it looked like the card maybe just fell out of his pocket or some sort. Right. Gerbic eventually can take the goal kick. The 5 minutes are up. McBurney's flicked on header. Ahmed Hodgic is forward into the penalty area, picked up by Jose Sa, and that could be that. Sheffield United, no doubt, better in this second period, but over the course of the 90 minutes, have they been good enough? And this is another defeat, staring Chris Wilder's side in the face as Jose Sa clears it, and the referee does blow the final whistle. Wolves beating Sheffield United by 1-0 after winning at Tottenham in London last weekend. Gary O'Neill's team claim all 3 points again, this time at home to the bottom club. Wolves, who've now won as many games this season as they did in all of last season. It feels a club going places under Gary O'Neill, but sadly for Sheffield United, it appears they are going in one direction, and that is down.
Yeah, back to the Championship, to be fair. They just lack that quality in the final third. Listen, the second half performance was spirited. They gave a good account of themselves, just lacked that quality in the final third. Wolves didn't play well in the second half. They done the job in the first half, but it was nervy. But they'll be happy with the 3 points, Wolves, and they move into the top 8 now, I think, Conor.
Yes, Wolves, who still have their eye on a European place by the end of the season. There's been plenty of entertainment here at Molineux this season. Wolves fans who've seen goals scored and conceded in exciting games this campaign. That wasn't one of them, though. This was one where you had to dig in, hold on, take the 3 points. And you know, not everything is a beautiful work of art. Gary O'Neill will have a satisfaction as how his team were able to hold off the late Sheffield United onslaught.
Yeah, you're right, Conor. It's not always about playing pretty football. It's about getting the 3 points. You're not always going to play to the maximum like you did in the first half. And sometimes you have to give credit to the opposition. Sheffield United in that second half, Conor had a right goal, but they just lacked that quality in the final third.
Well, thanks to Clinton Morrison for his company throughout the afternoon. The Pablo Sarabia goal has allowed Wolverhampton Wanderers to beat Sheffield United by a 1-0 in this 1:30 kickoff in the Premier League. They are midway through the first half at Wembley. It is still Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. Creevin Kelleher's made a good save to deny Cole Palmer in the best chance of that game so far. Earlier on today, Celtic, a couple of late goals to put a sheen on an otherwise worrying performance, but they do beat Motherwell by 3-1. That's it for our Premier League coverage on Sports Extra for today. It is time to turn our attentions to rugby.